All right, and we're live. We're live. What's up, everybody? Got Myron here. Let me pop it up on my
Yes, I
screen.
am here. I'm back.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm
Let's
back.
see.
This guy dragged me back in.
Yeah, I told him, yo, lock in, bro. Hop on. Said, hop on stream for a second. Lock in with me. So, okay. Perfect.
All right. What's the latest with you, man? Because it's been a minute since we've been able to do one of these. So, update everybody on what you got going on and everything.
Yeah, man, it's been good. It's been good. So, I just been reporting on everything that's been happening with Iran, continuing to farm the topic as per usual. And the developments have been repetitive. You know, it's been this cycle. It's been perpetuity. It's been the U.S. and Iran going back and forth, and then Trump saying we're winning, and then oil hitting 100, and then Trump chickening out, and then drawing back to the diplomacy board, and then coming back and striking Iran again. So we got a news story here. It looks like Iran fired some missiles at U.S. military bases, specifically in Jordan, which were intercepted at 5:45 today Eastern time. CENTCOM reported on this. However, they said all the missiles and the strikes were intercepted successfully, and U.S. forces remain vigilant at a high state of readiness. So we'll watch a video on that. I have an article too. I have CENTCOM's tweet here. But yeah, we'll get into it. But what's going on with you, man? You've been live for 10 years, bro.
Yeah, I did 11 hours earlier, and then now I'm just here, here with you, man.
Endless grind.
Just,
endless grind. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm just here because you went live. So I said, you know what, we can come in and talk about the war a little bit. It's been a little bit since me and you've been able to do some geopolitics together. So I'm really just here because you, bro. So everybody needs to thank you.
W. Myron. I'm farming him a little bit more for you guys. So if you miss him all day, because a lot of people do sleep late and they catch you late. So I guess I'm helping that crowd out that would have had to just watch your stream on a replay. They're able to catch you live because I dragged you back on. So W in the chat for dragging Myron. But yeah, so I got some stuff here queued up, and we can get straight into it. Started a little late today, but hopefully everybody's still awake and paying attention because this is brand new. So let me screen share this. Always got to remember I'm on Discord, so it's like an extra screen. But here we have U.S. CENTCOM's tweet. So again, this was today at 6:27, but the incident actually took place at 5:45 p.m. Eastern time, and it reads: the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps forces launched multiple ballistic missiles from Iran in attempted surprise attack on U.S. forces based in the Middle East. All Iranian missiles were successfully intercepted. U.S. forces remain vigilant and at a high state of readiness. And so this is also the article out of Axios, and really the same thing, but a little bit more details. And we know they have the drop inside the White House, so maybe we'll get some secret lore here. But very simply, it reads: Iran launched multiple ballistic missiles towards a U.S. military base in Jordan on Tuesday. Attempted surprise attack is what the U.S. CENTCOM coined it as. All of the missiles allegedly were intercepted, so no damage was done. But this marks Iran's first ballistic missile attack against a U.S. base in the region since President Trump paused strikes against Iran on Friday. And just for some context, if you guys have not been paying attention, and I spoke about this on Friday, but just to give a quick briefing, from 3 weeks back, the United States and Iran were going back and forth tit-for-tat strikes, really primarily for control of the Strait of Hormuz for 13 days straight. And on that 13th day, at the end of the day, Donald Trump had reported that we're not going to strike Iran anymore, and we're going to cease all hostilities. And so we've kind of been in limbo from Saturday and Sunday. The only thing that we were waiting for is Netanyahu to make it to Washington and talk to Trump today, and then see what will come about of that conversation. And we're really yet to see what the conclusion has been. Zelensky,
I think Zelensky is there too, which you want to talk about the strike on the cargo ship, which that's a big deal too.
Yeah, and so Ukraine actually got involved in the conflict and hit an Iranian cargo ship as well. And Abbas Araghchi tweeted about this, which is the foreign minister of Iran, and he said that everything has been handled between them and Ukraine. However, they're expecting some sort of restitution or reparation for the damage done to the Iranian vessel. And it seems like everybody kind of understands what's happening here. There's no 5D chess. Iran wants to, or Ukraine rather, wants to drag themselves into the conflict. And it seems like Trump is a little bit more sympathetic of Zelensky, more than he was prior, and maybe this is due to Lindsey Graham's death. Maybe he wants to honor Lindsey Graham and his war hawk tendencies and continue on the conflict and supporting Ukraine, and that's what Ukraine wants. I mean, they have a ton of momentum right now, and the best thing that they can garner from this entire conflict and this pause is getting the Iranian conflict kind of dragged in and intertwined with the conflict in Eastern Europe between them and Russia, in which they've been dragged in for 4 years. What's that?
No. I said that would be a huge W for them. And then also, I mean, because the problem is that the conflicts are, you know, linked now, unfortunately, because they're destroying their refineries in Russia because Russia's been making money hand over fist from the oil shortage from the Strait of Hormuz, and now the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait being closed. So it's like Ukraine is like this is like a horrible situation for energy, because now Bab-el-Mandeb Strait is closed. Strait of Hormuz is closed. So somewhere between 25 to 30% of the world's oil is basically frozen. And then the refiner, one of the, you know, biggest refiners in the world, is being blown up by Ukraine. So this is just atrocious, man. Very bad.
Yeah, we're headed towards a really, really bad energy crisis. It's just not even fear-mongering anymore. I mean, the world's largest crude oil facility is up in flames and pluming with smoke right now in Saudi Arabia due to Houthi strikes. And then Iran is also allegedly launching drones over Saudi airspace, and Saudi's responding in U.S. joint strikes, which is significant against Iraq and Iranian proxies in Iraq. So it's not even a conspiracy. It's not even speculation and or a prediction anymore. It's not analysis. It's just a fact that the world is certainly going to enter and plummet into an energy crisis like we haven't seen in, honestly, recent history. And Tucker was saying this the other day. He said all roads are pointing to the fact that we're going to enter an energy crisis that the world has not had experience in dealing with for a very long time. And the biggest testament to that is the Houthis and the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait. They clogged up the Red Sea at first, and they were only targeting Saudi vessels. But as you and I had predicted back in March, this is Iran's trump card that they will utilize if the conflict drags long enough. And lo and behold, 5 months later, the Houthis are now moving to eventually close entirely the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait and model the same exact situation that the IRGC has demonstrated in the Strait of Hormuz. And so now that's another 12% of the world's oil supply. And it was obvious, right? Once they started exclusively attacking the Saudi vessels, it only led to another thing, obviously, which is the fact that they're going to start clogging up all the vessels. And China's already getting their hand in there. Allegedly, I'm reading on X from different pages that China's trying to talk with the Houthis and the Iranian proxy groups, the Iran as a whole, to allow their vessels to pass through. Go ahead.
I heard that they're getting them through. I don't know if I heard that like one or two Chinese ships made it through.
Yes, I saw that as well. I didn't see any confirmed reports or mainstream reports, but it's logical to just conclude that if any vessel is going to pass through, it would be a Chinese one, being the fact that they're giving Iran their satellite systems and everything else that they're using to precision strike key U.S. military logistical infrastructure, which they've been doing successfully in the Middle East for the last 5 months. And even now, unfortunately, 2 or 3 it's 3 primarily, but specifically in Jordan, 2 U.S. servicemen were killed in an Iranian strike. And I don't think it was even a very highly technological piece of military infrastructure. I think it was just a basic missile. And so the rumor that's been floating around is that U.S. interceptors are running low in the region, and it seems like that likely is the case. So today, obviously, CENTCOM, and this was at 5 p.m. Eastern, so just 5 or 6 hours ago, today successfully, CENTCOM had intercepted a bunch of missiles coming from Iran on its way to Jordan. But maybe that was intentional by Iran to hit a hardened U.S. base, knowing they would be intercepted, to really send that message that even though there's a stalemate right now, they hold the escalation dominance, they hold the cards, and Netanyahu being in Washington means nothing to them. And they've done things like this in the past out of nowhere to kind of display to the fact that, you know, they're not sitting duck. They're ready to fight if anything or tensions flare back up. And this is what Trump has been floating around, this rhetoric of, oh, we're going to escalate the conflict and it's going to go back to what we saw in March or even worse. That's what Trump was saying for the last 2 weeks. And then you have this funeral of Lindsey Graham. You have Zelensky attacking a Ukrainian ship. You have Netanyahu in the White House, Zelensky in the White House. And so for Iran, they can already sense what's coming. And they're able to predict the pattern at this point. I mean, pattern recognition is imperative for them if they want to continue to keep their sovereignty. And they've been excellent. They've been predicting the U.S. and their moves ever since the war had started after the supreme leader was killed. So this just seems to be the same thing over and over again. And I don't know, what would you say? Do you think this is going to continue on? I think that we're just going to go back into war hostilities at some point in the near future.
Yeah, no, they have to respond. I think they attacked Iraq back. Apparently Saudi Arabia and the U.S. attacked back very quickly. So that might be where it goes. But, I'm just shocked that Iran attacked first. That's not normally something they do. But, I think that's a sign that, like, look, they're not letting Trump off the hook. They're tired of Trump at this point. He killed Qasem Soleimani. The Israelis have been antagonizing them. They invaded Lebanon. So it's like, enough is enough. And I think, like, and we said this earlier, man, like at the beginning of this war, for them, this war's for keeps. You know, like we're doing this war just because, like, oh yeah, for the thrill of the game. Yeah. Like, Trump being a dumbass for like some legacy. These dudes are fighting like for the future. So they want to hit the United States so hard where Trump will never, ever, ever do this again, or the United States will never, ever do this again. Like, they want to hit us so hard, punches nowhere. Like, all right, like, if we hit them, we have to actually deal with some type of consequence. And not only are we going to deal with a military consequence, we're going to deal with an economic one as well. And they're going to hurt our allies. So it's actually, now that you think about it, it's a military nightmare, it's an economic nightmare, and it's a diplomatic nightmare. So they're actually able to effectively hurt us in 3 different realms, which is why this is so bad. Because
on all fronts. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, and like we know we've been shown to be a paper tiger. We can't defend our allies in the region. We can't.
Yeah.
We just straight up. And a big reason why Trump had to even stop this stuff is because Patriot missiles down, Tomahawks are down, munitions are down in general. So your ability to attack and your ability to defend are both basically limited to a degree.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So that's kind of where we are now at this point, and it's just. And I think Trump is desperately looking for a way out, but it's like I don't see one, like, outside of, like, you would have to give them full reign on the Strait. You got to get out of Lebanon. The Israelis aren't going to do that. And then especially now, now you've added in this extra element with Ukraine, and you have 2 people that are hell bent on staying in war. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. Now you added in another guy who you could make the argument that Zelensky wants to stay in war more than Netanyahu.
Yeah. 100%. Certainly.
And they hit that cargo ship, and then what does Zelensky say? Oh, we have information that the Russians are supporting the Iranians in the war, blah blah. So he strikes it, and then he says, look, you guys got to get involved and help us, because the Iranian, I mean, we knew this already, that the Russians were giving them intel. That's how their fucking missiles are so accurate, along with the Chinese. But like now, like, that's a major escalation, man. So that's an act of war, hitting an Iranian cargo ship like that. So.
And slowly but surely, it certainly is. And it seems like Iran is taking the high road for now. In a way, it's an indirect warning to let the Ukrainians know, look, you don't want any of this smoke. And I think also the Iranians intimately understand that for Zelensky, it's a major strategic W if he can draw in that conflict to his, if he can intertwine the Middle Eastern and the European conflict. And so Iran senses that. I don't think they'll fall for the bait. Sure, they can respond to Ukraine. By the way, they have the wherewithal and they have the ability 100%. They have
their missiles could probably reach southern Ukraine.
Yeah,
right.
Ukraine's not that far. It can certainly seep into Eastern Europe, no doubt. No doubt. I'm pretty confident, and that's what intelligence says, that Iran's missile capability goes as far as Eastern Europe, or even more inland in Europe. So there's no doubt they have the ability to respond. And this is what the foreign minister had said today.
Odessa, right? Odessa is. If we could pull up the map.
Sure.
I think Odessa is southern Ukraine, kind of close to the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if we can check it out on a map.
I've got it already.
You got it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think they can probably at least hit Odessa.
So there we go.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Odessa. They might be
not the greatest. It's really not the greatest distance, right? Obviously, these launchers are riddled all along the coastline, but I'm sure they have others.
They got some in the interior. The ones that they shot today, were from the mid-Iran.
Okay, exactly. Okay, perfect. So they're inland, and we know they can reach Syria. We know they can reach Israel, and so it's really not that much of a stretch away if they're going to go over here up to Ukraine. So I mean, it's just likely that if this continues, Iran would definitely respond to Ukraine aggressively. And I think, like we said, this is where Odessa would be, so it's right on the coast, off of the Black Sea.
That would be my spot to hit if I was Iran, like that.
And this is the foreign minister.
Also, that's somewhere that Russia's trying to, Russia's trying to take Odessa.
Yes. So. Yeah, this is a picture of Zelensky. Anyways, it says here, Zelensky has attacked an Iranian commercial vessel, killing a sailor. A blatant UN charter violation done at Israel's behest to drag Europe into its war. In calls with EU High Rep Kallas and FM Lavrov, made clear that what the freeloader in Kiev did cannot go unanswered. And then
they called the freeloader in Kiev?
Yeah. And then he said, was assured that the attack on an Iranian ship was unintentional and Ukraine seeks no escalation. Iran does not seek escalation either, but made clear on any attack on our citizen or its interest is unacceptable. There must be restitution for losses, as I said earlier. And then this meme is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that shit has me dead, bro. We ain't reopening shit, bro.
He's still saying today, I think he said at some point today, I don't know, at the Graham funeral or whatever, today or yesterday, he was saying, like, we own the Strait, we control the Strait, and it's just comical at this point. Like, before it was like, wait, are we taking control of the Strait because of the blockade? But now it's just completely obvious that Iran has full control of the Strait, and they could circumvent the blockade with the Caspian Sea, which is what they've been doing for probably the last 3 months. So, or 2 months when the United States launched its naval blockade that ended up being ineffective. Marco Rubio said it'd make them lose so much money. Trump said $500 million a day, but it doesn't seem like Iran really struggled from that at all. And that's because they face that existential threat. But yeah, that's kind of the situation right now. So it seems like as time goes on, we're getting sharp but sure signs that there's going to be more and more of a regional mess, more escalations, more countries involved. The Houthis have now fully jumped into the war. They're entrenched in the conflict. And then, of course, you have the situation with Hezbollah.
Can you take us through? No, finish your sentence, but I was going to say, after you do that, can you take us through I know the Houthis hit Aramco, but like I didn't follow up past there. If you can take us through the escalation with those two in particular.
Yeah. So the situation between the Houthis and Saudi Arabia started on July 13th. And it was because an Iranian delegation was on its way to Yemen at the Sana'a airport. And the Saudis not only disrupted the airspace to prevent the aircraft from landing, but they also bombed the runway, which was the first time that Saudi Arabia had launched an attack into Yemen or that province. Yeah, and it was actually the Saudi-backed government of Yemen that was responsible for the attack. But of course, the Houthis responded by hitting an airport in southern Saudi Arabia, I believe the Abha airport, damaging a lot of the infrastructure within the airport. And that's what kind of started the tit-for-tat situation. And so that happened just hours after the Saudis had bombed the runway. And so we had a tit-for-tat situation immediately. And then for the days afterwards, from July 13th to I think what was July 20th, there were just escalations of threats. And so it was this escalatory ladder of threats between the Saudis and the Houthis saying, look, if you bomb an airport, we'll bomb an airport. If you hit a port, we'll hit a port. If you block a ship, we'll block a ship. And then I believe on July 20th or the 21st, one of those 2 days, the Houthis had mobilized in the Red Sea, turned away 2 Saudi ships, and then started attacking 3. And from there, we had the whole conflict erupt. And then after that, Saudi Arabia responded by hitting the Hudaydah port in Yemen. And then Yemen responded by, or the Houthis rather, I should say, responded by hitting the Yanbu port, which is their way of circumventing the Hormuz blockade westward into the Red Sea to let these oil vessels pass through to the el-Mandeb Strait.
On the map for the guys. Let's show this, because I know what you're talking about, but I know these guys might not. So,
sure,
guys, my brother's gonna pull this up for you guys so you guys can really, you guys can really like take this in, because it's very important. Because basically, guys, the Saudis lost, like, they were moving, I think, 5 million barrels a day, 5 to 7 million barrels a day.
Yes.
So they lost their main lifeline, bro, for making money, because they were able to kind of somewhat exist with the Strait of Hormuz being closed, but this shit part, this really fucked them up.
Yeah, and so if you look at the map here, of course, this is Sana'a, Yemen, and this is where everything started. Okay, so the Yemen-backed, or the Saudi backing the Yemen government, bombed the runway here and screwed with that Iranian delegation on the way from the funeral.
We should tell them too. Guys, there's been a civil war in Yemen for a while over 2 different governments. You got the Houthis, and then, like, what's the other government called again? We don't even know them niggas. What are they called again?
Yeah, the situation in Yemen is so fractional. I'm not sure what their name is.
Yeah, so guys, there's 2 different governments. We don't even know what the other government is. That's how little we, like, everybody knows the Houthis.
There's a state-sponsored one, right, from Saudi Arabia. So you have the Houthis, and then.
So the Houthis is basically the Houthis are the rebel government that's been fighting the official government. Like, the rest of the world, like, doesn't acknowledge, like, well, other governments do, but the majority of, like, the Gulf states, whatever, they don't look at the Houthis as the real government. They look at them as, like, a rebel government. So Saudi Arabia is backing the official government, and they attacked the Houthis. And there's been, like, a very bloody civil war in Yemen for a very long time, and the Saudis have been backing the other government. So this is why they've been fighting with them so long. So Sana'a is controlled by the Houthis, that area. And then the other government controls, like, the other side. So sorry, Rad, go ahead. Just I want to give them context so they know what you're talking about here when it comes to why this beef is going on with Saudi Arabia and Yemen.
Yeah, and the conflict has been peaceful, really. There's kind of been this de facto truce deal between the Saudis and the Houthis since 2022. So this is the first eruption of conflict that we've seen in several years, unfortunately. And of course, it's tied in with the Iran war. You can see how disastrous this war is for the entire region. But so obviously you had the escalation in Sana'a with the airport being bombed. And then the Houthis respond by hitting an airport in Abha, which is located right here in southern Saudi Arabia, which was a part of the war zone during the conflict for the last 5-6 years, from 2018 to 2022, rather, I should say, between Saudi and the Houthis. And then in response to that, Saudi Arabia bombed Hodeidah, which is a port right here on Yemen's coastline. And then in response to that, of course, the Houthis had hit the Yanbu port, which is just north over here. And this port has been crucial during this war more than ever before because of the fact that there's a pipeline spanning westward all the way from the Persian Gulf and the coastline of Saudi Arabia all the way over to the Red Sea on the western side of the country. And this is how they've been able to export their oil despite the blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, by going around this way into the Arabian Sea through this tiny passageway right here, similar to the Strait of Hormuz, but it's called the el-Mandeb Strait. And so the Houthis finally mobilized after all of these escalations. Well, the Hodeidah airport was actually bombed after, or the Hodeidah port was bombed after the whole situation broke out with the Red Sea and the Houthis taking these ships and bombing them. But this was Saudi Arabia's response, and then the Houthis mobilized and they completely blocked every single Saudi vessel from going through. And so we're just seeing a similar situation to that what we saw in the Strait of Hormuz.
They weren't fucking around. They blew up
like
two of them.
The first or second day, the first night, like early on, 2 got turned away. And then right after that, they bombed 2, and then they bombed another 3, and then they started really destroying a whole bunch. And so now you've got the conflict in the sea between the Houthis and Saudi Arabia, and you've also got the conflict on land as well, with them bombing critical infrastructure belonging to either opposing side. And not to, and to add to that as well, Saudi Arabia also joined the United States in bombing Iraq today and hitting other Iranian proxies in response for Iran allegedly launching drones into Saudi Arabian airspace and hitting critical oil infrastructure, which is likely true because there does seem to be a lot of damage on the ground from these videos that I'm seeing on X, which I can actually pull a few up for you right now of what the Iranians have been doing to Saudi oil infrastructure. So if you take a look right here, you can see Iran denies any link to the drone attacks on Saudi oil, calling the accusation a major calculation error. But you can see some of the damage on the ground here and what Saudis are reporting. They're seeing plumes of smoke in the sky. It says here, an informed military official tells IRIB, Iran state broadcaster, and the regime official's voice that Tehran strongly denies any connection to projectiles fired from other countries towards targets in Saudi Arabia. The official's warning, attributing any action against U.S. interests in the region to the Islamic Republic of Iran, is a major calculation error, yada, yada, yada. It answers Saudi Arabia's defense ministry blaming Iran-aligned militias in Iraq for fresh drone attacks on eastern province oil facilities. The denial lands just after the joint U.S.-Saudi strikes on those militia sites in Iraq, which CENTCOM said answered over 30 IRGC-directed drone attacks in 72 hours, of course, against Saudi oil infrastructure. And there's more evidence to this as well. I think we have some satellite imagery of the world's largest crude oil facility pluming with black smoke, and can find that right here. And this again was from about 2 days ago, or this was yesterday actually, sorry. And so we could take a look at this. And this has been surfaced everywhere, not only on this page, but new high-resolution satellite imagery shows major damage to the Abqaiq oil processing facility, the world's largest crude oil stabilization plant, processing 7% of global oil supply, and a massive black plume of smoke rising following drone attacks per Sentinel-2 imagery. So we could take a look at these here. So again, Saudi Arabia is under fire, certainly by the Iranian proxies. And so this just puts Trump, like you were saying earlier, Trump has no way out of this. And any time he wants to seek a way out of this, Iran has the ability to put him in a position where he pretty much looks like a bitch if he tries to get out, because his allies are suffering. Saudi Arabia is fighting the Houthis. The Red Sea is clogged up. The Houthis are clogging up the Bab-el-Mandeb Strait for other oil vessels or cargo ships as well. 12% of the world's energy supply. Strait of Hormuz is still controlled by Iran. And so right now, Iran really holds all the cards in the Middle East, and Trump has no way out except through. And so that's what it seems like the administration was trying to do in that 13-day onslaught of aerial assaults across the Iranian coastline on Bandar Abbas and Bandar Kamir and the Qasem Island, is try and just power their way through, destroying military infrastructure that's responsible for imposing control of the strait. But it's just proving useless. It's rendering to be ineffective. And until the United States becomes very aggressive in a long-winded conflict and completely flattens all of this Iranian infrastructure, which would take a long time and prove attritional, asymmetric, there's really no way we can stop Iran from controlling the Strait, because they're going to hold on to that with their life. I said this the other day. I said, if Iran's only lifeline in this war and keeping the United States and Israel away, especially from a ground invasion, is by controlling the Strait, even if the United States is hurting Iran by bombing them in their coastline and destroying their infrastructure, Iran's not going to let go until they genuinely do not possess the ability to let go. So hitting their coastline is not going to bring them to the table. It's going to make them fight back harder, because that's their only means of sovereignty. The Strait being in control of Iran is the only thing keeping them alive. Rather, I should say, their sovereignty is contingent upon their control of the Strait. So that is the most vital and strategic weapon and leverage point they have over the United States. And we're going to have to try and find a different way rather than just bombing straight through them, because that's going to take a long time. Is it plausible? Of course. We're stronger militarily, but we're already 5 months in. And all we've been doing for the last 3 is trying to get the Strait back, to no success. So
and they can last longer. They can last a lot longer doing what they're doing than us doing what we're doing, unfortunately.
Way longer. Way longer. And that's because they can deal with the financial repercussions, the military repercussions, the casualties. It's something that they're used to. It's something that they're ready for. And their threat is existential. You know, you think about it from the U.S. perspective, where's the morale and the will to fight? Iran poses no threat to the U.S. They don't even have ICBMs. They don't have missiles that can hit the U.S. They don't have a nuclear threat. At least yet, they don't have a nuclear bomb or a primitive bomb like everybody's worried about. So really, the only threat is against Israel. So where's the morale to fight from U.S. personnel if we ever do launch a ground invasion? It won't be there. Versus on the Iranian side, well, they're fighting for their existence. So
and they'll gladly do a ground war.
They'd be more than happy. They'd be more than happy.
They want to.
They invite it. They invite it, and partially because they know the U.S.
When the foreign minister, when they ask about the invasion, the foreign minister smirks.
Sure, yeah.
You should get that clip if you have it. But yeah, no, guys, while he gets that clip, make sure to get the hoodie Jackass, because that's literally what's going on right now. I got the Jackass hoodie right here for y'all. It's in stores right now, MyronGainsX.store. I got to get my brother one as well. I got to send him one. But yeah, look at this. This is crazy.
Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
That's just crazy, bro. And this was, by the way, this was on March 5th, 2026. So this was like 6 days after the war started.
Yeah, you know, like, wait, let's see if we get that smirk. Then it gave that smirk.
You were waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Play every beginning. Play every beginning.
Boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You were waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
Yeah, so
you're saying that Iran is ready and willing to take on the U.S. military if there were to be ground troops?
Well, we were ready for this war even more than the previous war. So you can see, the quality of our missiles, how much they are upgraded after the last war, because we learned lots of lessons. And we are prepared for any other eventuality, even, a ground invasion. So our soldiers are prepared for any scenario. When I said we are waiting for...
Yeah, guys, their army is the Artesh, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is what it's called. And they got like almost 1 million people, man, between reserves and everything. They got a huge military, bro. So, like, IRGC isn't even, the ground troops. So
it's just simply not plausible. It's not. And then look, we're starting to get so desperate. It seems like the only way to really make any difference is, again, to destroy their ability to control the Strait. I mean, here's the only plausible thing I can think of that can help the United States eventually win over the Strait of Hormuz. Destroying all the military infrastructure that Iran has, especially along the coastline, so that they can't threaten the Strait anymore. Try to take back control of the Strait with a heavy naval presence. But again, it's going to be tough because they still have launchers inland. They have other matters that they can resort to. But even if we do that, we have to then take control of all of that military infrastructure and ensure Iranian hands can never get back on it. And that just takes such a long time. And at that point, and that point only, then maybe we can get Iran to the table for denuclearization and slowing down their missile stockpile like we flirted with back in February and all this brinksmanship that we exercised to try to get them to do that. But if they have the Strait, they're going to be bold. And the sign was today they launched an attack without any real provocation. They launched an attack first against Jordan, which is what we're talking about right now. I have the video here. And this surprise attack on U.S. forces. So obviously the control of the Strait makes them incredibly bold. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think Netanyahu sharing, going to the White House saying that I'm going to share information and Zelensky being there made them say, you know what, let's go ahead and preemptively attack?
What do you mean, like made Iran attack because Netanyahu was in the White House?
Yeah, because Netanyahu claimed that he had intel. We know, me and you know that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, I got intel that I need to share with you on Iran.
Yeah, I agree. I think
have been something that maybe prompted them, because this is just so you guys know, Iran never attacks first like this. So this tells me that this is a part of probably something bigger.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. And I think I said that a moment ago. I feel like there may be some symbolism in that where Iran is striking these Middle Eastern countries, or really Jordan. And it looks like they hit a hardened base because none of their missiles got through. And the United States never possessed the ability to successfully intercept every single Iranian missile in an Iranian offensive in the last like 12 or 13 days, because a lot of them were getting through, and we know that for a fact because we lost servicemen. And so it seems like maybe Iran didn't even intend any damage, but they rather just want to send a message that, you know, we're ready for any escalation, and whatever you're trying to cook up in the White House is not going to work, especially with Zelensky getting involved now. They have to impose themselves and show that they control the Strait, they control the situation, in which they just, unfortunately, they certainly do. They certainly do. So it's proving to be more catastrophic for the U.S. day in and day out. And it honestly, just for me, I'll say this really quick. Every single day I read the news and I'm paying attention to what's going on. And I'm honestly shocked at how this conflict just has no way out. Or it just looks like this is not going to end. You know, I was hopeful when the MOU was signed, the Memorandum of Understanding. And I was saying, okay, maybe finally we're getting the peace that everybody was claiming we'd have. And it just seems like every other day, the only dying outlet for peace gets cut off. And then the next one gets cut off. And it's just demoralizing. And I told my chat that on Saturday. I'm like, yo, not to sound like a war fearmongerer, but every single day it seems like there's no way out of this conflict. I mean, we keep getting escalations. We are almost in August. You know, we're almost approaching the midterms in November and the new year. I mean, summer is, you know, almost done. So it's just unbelievable to think that we're still full on in this conflict. And just 4 or 5 days ago, the United States was still aggressively bombing Iran. So it's just, I don't know. I read the news every day and I'm like, man, can we get something different? This is really turning into a forever war. It's quite unfortunate, but let's see. Could watch this video. We'll take a look at this video by CNN. They reported on it.
Is there a newer one? Is there a newer? I watched this one a little bit earlier. Is there a newer one that they've dropped? Because they're usually pretty good about updating this shit.
I have it here. I think this one's a little bit newer. 4 hours ago.
Do we have anything more recent than that, by chance? If not, then we'll rock with it.
No.
I didn't watch Al Jazeera.
That's a good point. U.S. warns Middle East situation around West Bank.
Hell, you know what we could do? We could watch Al Jazeera, then we could watch I-24 if they got anything on this.
Okay. Yeah, this is the most recent one. In regards to that specific situation with the Iranian escalation, this one would be the most recent.
We can watch it. Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
You're watching Al Jazeera. We have some breaking news for you. It is Iranian state media saying that a number of missiles have been launched from the center of the country toward Jordan. Jordanian sources say explosions have been seen in the skies over the country. Now, don't forget, on the 17th of July, 3 U.S. military personnel were killed at the Salti Air Base in Jordan. We'll have more on this story, but at the moment we have the U.S. military saying that at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Time, that is, of course, about 45 minutes ago, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps forces launched multiple ballistic missiles from Iran. The IRGC really at the moment for launch.
So it seems like they hit the same base that they killed the 2 soldiers at prior.
Or they
aimed at the same base.
From central Iran, and this is all coming at the moment from the U.S. military, at least. That's what we have so far. U.S. forces remain vigilant and at a high state of readiness as well. They've also said that all these missiles were indeed intercepted. All Iranian missiles were successfully intercepted, according to the U.S. military. All of this, of course, as we do have this hiatus at the moment between the U.S. and Iran in terms of open conflict, at least, but we have several ballistic missiles reportedly being fired at U.S. bases in Jordan, and air defenses were activated, and all missiles, all Iranian missiles, were successfully intercepted, according to the U.S. military, at least. That's what we have at the moment. Let's see what else we can actually come up with here as well with regards to this attack taking place from central Iran, allegedly. We have at the moment the Iranian news media saying that that is the case, saying that what we had was the state media saying that a number of missiles launched from the center of the country and launched toward, of course, their Jordan and U.S. military bases. Jordanian sources say explosions have been seen in the skies over the country. And, of course, this story is a developing one here as well. And don't forget that we did have on the 17th of July 3 U.S. military personnel being killed at the Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan. That's currently the news headlines that we are receiving, that Iran has launched these ballistic missiles towards Jordan and U.S. bases there as well. I believe we can get over now to Jason Campbell, who joins us now from Washington. And Jason, what do you make of this?
Yes, look, this is a clear signal from Iran that it is still, in its estimation, trending towards the use of violence as a means of coercive diplomacy here. And this sends a very strong signal being launched at the same air base. They were able to strike a successful hit only a number of days ago. Not only that was reportedly able to evade U.S. Air defenses, but also strike with great precision on a number of housing units that would certainly target, obviously, U.S. forces. So the fact that they are striking now again at this base, we still need to obviously hear what types of missiles were utilized here. It sounds like the U.S. was successful in intercepting them, thankfully. But in the climate we're in now, where President Trump has continued to voice the possibility of the U.S. Escalating the war, I think the timing of this strike is meant to send a message that perhaps the United States should think twice.
Yeah, so I mean,
yeah, this is all about deterrence, dude. This is all about deterrence. You fuck with us, we're not gonna let you go. We're gonna make you pay. I think it's important that the audience understands that, like, in a lot of Iran's rhetoric, it's about punishing them. Like, that's how the Iranians are looking at it. Like, they look at it like, you killed our supreme leader, you killed 160 schoolgirls, you embarrassed us, you killed Ismail Haniyeh, the Israelis killed Ismail Haniyeh on our ground, in our soil, who was our guest. You guys bombed our embassy in Damascus. You killed Qasem Soleimani. We are going to punch you guys so hard in the fucking nose. You never, ever, ever fucking attack us again like this, because they look at it like not just survival, but they don't want the United States to ever attack them like this ever again. And to be honest with you, bro, like, this is just really bad foreign policy. Like, you fucking bombed them in the middle of negotiations, then you do negotiations again, and then you bomb them again in the middle of negotiations. Like, what the fuck are we doing here, dude? Like, What are we doing here? Like, this is, like, absolutely ridiculous. So, of course, they're out for blood. Of course, the people are pissed off. They're fucking waving red flags around. We talked to Suleiman. We talked to guys that are Iran. The people are fucking furious. They look at it like, we don't care. We'll take the sanctions. We don't give a shit. The Russians are giving us food anyway. We make our own food. Who cares? Whether, we have, we've already been living with sanctions for 50 years. Who cares? We'll live with, economic turmoil for another year if we have to, or two, to fight the Americans to make sure that this never happens again. That's how they look at it. Like, it's victory or die. There's no in between. It's literally do or die for them. So, Trump, his fucking dumbass was like, you know what? I'm going to get another Venezuela. I'm going to get another victory. And then dumbass Netanyahu. I mean, could you imagine that? What do you think Netanyahu told Trump to get him into this war, bro? What do you think he told him?
To start on the 28th?
Yeah. What that nigga tell him, bro?
Bro, to me, it's quite obvious. He definitely went to Trump and said, Mr. President, our intelligence has been paying very close attention to the Iranian regime, the terrorist proxy regime. that has riddled the Middle East with terror. And we believe that they have nukes pointed at the United States. But with your help, Mr. President. And then Trump was probably like, you know what, BB? I like you. This guy is so smart. BB, you know you're the greatest. Aren't you the greatest? And probably glazed him. And then they walked out of the fucking Oval Office and all of the intelligence was looking at Trump like, nigga, are you really about to do this? And he was like, I like BB. I trust BB. I think it's a great idea. And then February 28th fucking happened. We killed the supreme leader. Now we're in we're in a war for 5 fucking months. And wait, that's huge though. I didn't even think about this. I know Iran.
Chat, my brother's good with the impersonations, bro. Chat, that's what this nigga does, man. Sorry, go ahead, Riyadh.
No, you brought up a good point, though. I didn't even think about this. Yeah, I know Iran utilizes the Caspian Sea, which is north of Tehran, for oil import and export to kind of circumvent the blockade and the issue with the Strait of Hormuz closure. Yeah, and so I think it's Russia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, and then Iran that all border that closed off like large lake or sea. I think it's the largest closed body of water in the world that borders 5 countries. And I think that they've been able to make a ton of money and or kind of relieve a lot of the sanctions and or the blockade from the United States. And so Ukraine hitting a vessel in or that cargo ship in the Caspian Sea is a major escalation and pushes Iran into such a deep corner where they realize now the United States or Ukraine, because they don't really know who's calling the shots at this point. It's Netanyahu, it's United. It's like everybody's calling the shots except for fucking Trump at this point. But they're kind of understanding, okay, they're trying to mobilize and seize our last kind of way of making, exactly like you were saying, making export, import, bringing in food.
That's why it was such a big deal because the Caspian Sea is like that's never been touched by the United States. That's always been Russian water.
Russia's hot pocket. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Ukraine doing that, like you could even make the argument like that was reckless. Like
it was
to attack that cargo ship like that. Like that's like Zelensky. Like that was a desperation move. That's like a page out of Netanyahu's book. Like, you know. So I can just imagine all 3 of them are probably sitting in the Oval Office right now strategizing.
100%.
Yeah, Mr. President, you know, we must take Putin down because Putin.
What a nightmare blunt rotation. Trump, Zelensky, and Netanyahu. Holy failed diplomacy in one fucking room, dude.
Bro, that's what I'm trying to tell you. This is not good. Like people need to understand. Like this is not fucking good because they attacked them in Russia's backyard, which the Iranians have been utilizing that. That's been their lifeline, bro. They get food, they get military support, they get aid through there. That's been able to offset a lot of the fucking sanctions and economic problems, right? Don't forget, Kazakhstan's a Muslim country, so they've absolutely been like assisting. And you know, for Zelensky to strike them like that, like that's a huge provocation. So I could just imagine Zelensky being in there with Netanyahu and Trump is like, Mr. President, we need to get rid of Putin. You don't understand. He's trying to take over Ukraine. If he takes over Ukraine, NATO's gone, NATO gone. Then you know they take Western Europe and then America. They have ICBMs and they have nukes. We need to stop them now, Mr. President. Then Netanyahu comes in. What would he say?
Yeah. Netanyahu comes in. Mr. President, he's making a great point. And while you're on that, the Iranian regime has been the largest state sponsor. Oh, I said that already. The Iranian regime now has its eyes on Lebanon. Wait, get the script. Get the script. It's like Netanyahu just runs through a fucking script and he ensures he doesn't repeat himself. Did you see his interview with CNN? It was genuine. He had to have been reading a teleprompter. He had to have been reading a teleprompter. And it's the same thing every time. He just kind of recycles different talking points for Trump. And then, you know, after a long enough break, it sounds attractive to him.
And then Trump comes in, you know what? We just need to nuke him. We need to nuke him. Zelensky, Putin's pissing me off. He won't take a deal. It's getting me mad. I tried. Yeah. I said I'd get it done in 24 hours. It's going to be 24 years. We might as well let's nuke Iran. And then, I don't know.
And that's actually, you're not even wrong. That's the only, I was saying this, I feel like the only choice the United States has is to just continuously bomb Iran and then ensure oil is going to be well over $100. Like Brent crude would be well over $100 for the next God knows how many months, and we're already reaching record level lows of strategic reserves for petroleum in the United States, which is why we're like in and out, kind of trying to do it in doses so we can mediate the matter, or mitigate the matter. But also, I think something that's really important to highlight is what other option does the United States have? It's either to just continuously bomb Iran or use a weapon that has a scale of mass destruction. like maybe a nuke or a very large bomb. And so that's what's concerning, because there's really no other way to keep Iran's hands off the Strait. The only option, and they flirted with that idea in the beginning when the air campaign was kind of proving senseless or rendering invalid, was, maybe Trump will use a nuclear bomb. A lot of people were, or a lot of analysts were fearful of that in the beginning of the war, and then Trump was saying these crazy things on X, or Truth Social rather, but he never actually went and did it.
Our plant day and all that done.
Are we approaching those crossroads again where maybe Trump starts to consider that? And maybe that even means hitting the energy grid, hitting the power plants. Like that's not something that has been done yet. We've hit bridges, but we have not hit the power grid as hard as we definitely can. We still possess that ability, and that's still something we have up our sleeve. So I'm concerned that the bombing on the coastline, as ineffective as it is, the United States is going to eventually realize that and know they can't thread the needle anymore. And then they're just going to go full-on campaign and just start hitting energy grid and energy infrastructure. And then what happens to the Gulf countries? What happens to the Middle East? What happens to the Red Sea? Because when Iran is pushed to that level, what are they going to do with their proxies? You know what I mean? That's the real concern. That's the Netanyahu talking point,
And then the other thing, I'm starting to really think, bro, that Zelensky struck Iran on purpose. Lindsey Graham died in mid-July. So he died in mid-July, right? He died on like the 11th. At that point, we already knew Netanyahu and Zelensky are flying over here, right?
Yeah.
They're going to come to the funeral. I think Zelensky did that attack knowing that he was going to go to the United States, and he could strategize with both Netanyahu and with Trump. And I don't think people understand right now, like, this is very important. This is way beyond Lindsey Graham's funeral. You have 3 countries with 2 guys that don't want to end any wars. Zelensky wants to stay in war, and so does Netanyahu. And Zelensky just struck a cargo ship that is literally like, the lifeline for the Iranians in the middle of a war. And then the Iranians just attacked the United States. So this is like a powder keg, bro. This is as I'm thinking about it, you have the 3 worst niggas sitting in the Oval Office right now, that can literally be 2 nuclear armed powers with 1 proxy. This is not good, man. It's not good at all.
A room full of war hawks and people who want to
Very
continue
dangerous.
hostilities. It is dangerous, and
I don't think you understand how dangerous this is.
This is why we shit on the administration, because Trump doesn't listen to his closest. Well, actually, he does listen to his closest advisors. His closest advisors are all war hawks. At least they were. Lindsey Graham was definitely a big one. But you've got Kushner, you've got Witkoff. The people in Trump's ear are the worst people to actually give him advice in this given situation. And the ones that actually knew the repercussions of the conflict in the Middle East have dropped out of the administration. They ran away. Fired them, or they dropped out. Really, they all got fired, but they dropped out for a more formal-looking matter. But it's unfortunate, and we all know Tulsi Gabbard said in March of last year that Iran does not possess a nuclear weapon, nor does it seem like they're currently racing to one. Obviously, they have highly enriched uranium, they have their centrifuges, but it does not seem like at this point they are going to make some sort of quote-unquote dirty bomb or this primitive nuclear device that could be responsible for mass destruction. So, it's just Trump ignoring all the people that actually have the qualifications and certifications, turning a blind eye to them and listening to Netanyahu and now Zelensky. It seems like he's a little bit more sympathetic of Zelensky, especially in this recent meeting, and that's concerning as well, because the Ukraine war has really no off-ramp, especially for Ukraine's perspective, because there's no way Putin... I thought it was comical the other day. Ukraine was actually hitting Russia very hard and hitting their gas infrastructure and their gas refineries, their oil refineries, it was. And as a result, Russia and the Russian populace was facing a little bit of a gas shortage, especially for their vehicles. We saw mile-long lines for gas and stuff like that. Of course, reported on U.S. media with lots of emphasis to show that Russia's losing. And people immediately thought, oh, Putin's going to have to pull out. He's losing favorability. And it's like, nigga, do you know how hell-bent Vladimir Putin is on keeping NATO expansion and or influence away from his fucking borders? You dumbasses. Like, do you know how hard he's fought for the last 20 years, especially after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991 and 92 and onwards? Russia's main priority has been keeping westward expansion and really keeping NATO expansion away from their borders in Eastern Europe, because it gets wider. And so they've worked hard with Belarus and Latvia and Estonia and Lithuania. And obviously they wanted Ukraine to be hands off from the United States and the West. And so this isn't like a petty war for Putin. This is also like close to an existential threat potentially, just like the one Iran faces. And so again and again, the United States finds itself on the opposing side of fighting countries that not only face a imminent threat to their government or their economy, but really their existence. You know, and Lindsey Graham was a testament to that. The things that he would say about Russia and Ukraine and how pro-Ukraine he was. And that was the only time where Lindsey Graham and Trump actually clashed heads, was on Ukraine. Because Lindsey Graham was that fucking extreme about Ukraine. Even to the point where Trump was not even as invested. Graham was. So Zelensky being in Washington today with Trump is very concerning. Very concerning, because I'm sure he's echoing those ideas and trying to earn Trump's sympathy. You know, we lost our best guy. We need you. So it's just a whole bunch of... And look, right now, Russia is definitely losing more than they ever have. But in the grand scheme of things, that's not a sign that the conflict is about to end. You got to be a fool to think that. And it's only just going to provoke Russia more. And the United States is going to be on the other end of it. And now it seems like Ukraine possesses the ability to drag the United States in if they want. I mean, has Trump reprimanded Zelensky for that strike? Did Trump tell him to do it?
No.
You know, who knows whose idea it was? It doesn't seem like there's any condemnation from Washington on that strike against the Iranian vessel in the Caspian Sea. That's concerning. So
and I think that they're strategizing right now some type of retaliation, and I think Zelensky would be stupid to not utilize this to his advantage. You know, because drawing in the Israelis and the United States to get, you know, to engage in this, even if they give logistical support or whatever, like, it would be a huge benefit to them. You know, it would be a huge benefit. And like we said before, both countries have maximalist demands, so there's no way they're going to come to the middle ground when it comes to Russia and Ukraine. It's just not going to. Yeah,
100%.
So we'll see what happens, man. But no, it's a very touchy situation, and I would argue this Iran war has created a lot of opportunities for Ukraine to utilize their drone warfare, because before this war with Iran, you know, Russia, as you guys know, their energy was very sanctioned. But since the conflict happened, people needed Russian oil and gas. So Russia's like started making money. Zelensky's like, well, no, we're not. Then he started hitting these static targets to fuck with Russia's money. Guys, I appreciate that you guys sending super chats in, but I want you guys to start moving up to my brother, because I am going to move all of you guys over to him. I am going to get off here very soon. I just want to cover geopolitics with him, but he's got some funny shit he's going to cover. I think he's going to react to, you're going to react to the Nick interview, and then you're going to talk about that chick that was on our show yesterday. My brother knows some shit that I didn't even know. So it's going to be funny, but I'll read these chats real quick. Martin, did you even get a chance to lay in the bed? No, I didn't, bro, but I'm going to know. King Goy says, next step is to control on transaction, limit energy. The only way you can do that is through a mark. Okay. Adam says, how many hours do you recommend working a week? 80 plus? Yeah, you should. Bomb their power plants easy. Steven 44, that's a low IQ comment, and that's why you probably said the dollar on Rumble. You're an idiot magatard. Bombing their power plants would be the beginning of the end for the Gulf states, my friend. Manny W says, if we really want to defeat Iran, we would and could. Our focus is mainly trying to let Iran separate, which is why an invasion won't happen. The point is war, which is end sooner than we think. Yeah, you're dumb too. Sorry, many W's. That's a many L right there. We can't defeat Iran, because in order for us to defeat Iran, we are not willing to pay the cost to defeat Iran. Okay, so to defeat Iran, we would have to be okay with completely destroying the Gulf. We're not willing to do that, so we're not willing to win. It's that simple, dude. Stop being a retard.
Losing a lot of U.S. soldiers as a result. Yeah.
And losing a lot of U.S. soldiers because you don't understand, bro. Doing bombs only, dropping bombs on Iran only is not going to work. You're going to have to get troops in there and actually occupy the country like you did with Iraq. And you guys saw how bad it was with Iraq. Iran is stronger, bigger, and way less forgiving territory. Me and my brother have explained this to you a million times. You need to change your name to many L's, because that's an L take right there. If we want to defeat Iran, we are not willing to pay the price to defeat them. Can we defeat them? Yes. But are we willing to pay the price? Fuck no, because that means Saudi Arabia's going to get destroyed. Kuwait's going to get destroyed. All of the Gulf states are going to be destroyed, bro. Okay, you ain't going to have... the only thing that's going to be left in the Middle East at that point is going to be the Kaaba, bro, and that's it. Like, everything else is going to get blown to smithereens. Your work ethic is commendable. Thank you for everything you do for us. Got you, Snow Yellow.
Desert Joe, thank you so much for the 5 gifted, my friend. Appreciate you always showing love. W's in the chat for Desert Joe.
I think we read that earlier. Anything else on the conflict stuff, bro?
No, that's really it. That is pretty much it. And there's a couple more things.
So what's
Trump
there to
called
do?
into Fox, and then I believe Netanyahu sat down with Sean Hannity. But in terms of the war, that's
Oh, he
really
did?
it. Yeah, he did. From what I'm seeing here, you want to take a look at it, or it's up to you?
Yeah, we can. I'm gonna start linking people to your stuff, though, guys. I want you to start rating my brother's stream. Let's get him to 2,000 plus live. We got a lot of you niggas in here watching on Kick and YouTube and OSS and Rumble. Support my brother, guys. All right, let's get him. He's at 25K subscribers. Let's get this fucking guy to 100. But yeah, here's his YouTube channel, guys. He's gonna continue on with the politics, and he's also gonna continue on with everything else. I just came on. Show this motherfucker some love. I haven't been able to stream with him in a bit. So, I thank you guys for allowing us this opportunity to spend time with each other and like streaming and shit. Pause, no homo. But I do enjoy being able to like get on with my brother and yap politics with you guys. It's really, it doesn't even feel like work, bro. It really doesn't.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's very fun, and people love it, man. People love when we're live, and they enjoy it a lot. So I had to call him up. I said, yo, lock in for the last hour. Let's do some coverage.
Yeah.
And he jumped back on.
Yeah,
My brother's a workhorse. So.
Yeah, I did 12 hours for these. 11 on mine, and then an extra hour for my bro. So yeah, guys, make sure to let's start slowly moving over. I want
Angel,
you guys
thank
to start
you so much
moving
for
over
the
to
5
the other
gifted, man.
stream.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much, Angel. I appreciate that. And the Desert Joe, shout out to you as well. I also have a chat. Somebody said, Riyadh, this is from Juju. Thanks for the super chat. He says, Riyadh, do you and or Myron have any plans to host events in Connecticut? I don't know. That's your call. Like
we could do it in
or
August.
something?
Yeah, we could do it in August when I'm there.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fans here. So we can try and set that up somewhere and meet you guys. We can do that potentially. Shout out to you guys in the chat. I see a lot of you coming in. Yeah, so Netanyahu confirms he's coming to New York for UN General Assembly. So I don't know if this was a few days ago. I think it was, but I don't think a lot of people actually got to see this. But it's just a 41-second clip, so we're not going to watch the whole thing. But yeah, he sat down with Sean Hannity, which is like nightmare collaborations. Just nightmare collaborations everywhere here. You got Zelensky, Netanyahu, Sean Hannity. Niggas all there for Lindsey Graham's death. It's like, wow, this is just a situation from hell. Well, let's see.
Thinking you may get arrested if you go to New York, which will never happen.
First of all, I'm going to New York.
That's just so tough. Look, you know what? People are shitting on Mamdani for not arresting Netanyahu, and honestly, kind of deservedly so. Deservedly so, because, I mean, he campaigned on that. But politics is telling people what they want to hear, right? So I understand that. But did anybody really think he'd be able to do that? I think anybody with half a brain knew Zohran Mamdani, Muslim mayor of New York City, newly elected, is not going to fucking arrest the second president of the United States. Let's get real here. So I thought that was really comical.
Yeah.
But,
I'd love to see you there when I go to the UN in September.
I moved to Florida.
Well, you can take a
I'll
plane.
come up, yes.
You can come, you've come to Washington, so you can
Yes.
go there, but I'm definitely going there. I'm going to speak the truth in front of this. This just hate spewing elected official who's pitting one group of New Yorkers against the others. He's turning them against New York Jews. I mean, what are we, in the 1930s? What is this?
okay. Oh my God. Bro said the 1930s of all time.
This thing is mad. You talking about that Cookie Monster event, man?
Yeah,
Okay,
he
buddy.
is. And wait, so is he gonna go to New York tomorrow? What's his? He's swearing he's gonna go and meet him.
It's in September.
Okay, got it.
Ungo's in September. I used to do
UN
security
General
detail
Assembly.
for that shit.
Okay.
It sucks.
Got it.
So,
That's funny.
in case thank you for the 10. One chest with the fitness thing. Yeah, guys. If you want to get in shape and not be fat, get in there with one chest, and then Leo Kings gives a status on Shadow of Ezra. Let me see what the hell this is. Let me double check. Yeah, my brother's about to cook this. He gives specific orders to Marco Rubio and Pete Hexa. Did you see this?
No, share it.
All right, let me share it real quick. This is what he's talking about.
Oh, I did see that actually. Yeah, Netanyahu gives specific orders to Rubio.
Yeah, no one can hear what they're saying. But
Yeah, we can make that shit out. You guys have been phenomenal. In bombing Iran, especially you, Pete. The Hasbara campaign is failing. we need to think of something else. What can we tell the American people to buy back their interest in this war? Yo, it's crazy too, like, not to get deeply psychological, but you can see who's commanding the situation here. Like, who's really got the room and control. Like, everybody's pointed at him. He's the one speaking to both of them. I know he's the guest and everything, but you can just kind of understand the dynamic of the situation here. This guy is the one who really calls the shots. I wonder if anybody did a lip read on that.
Bill Clinton talked about, like, him being an asshole like this. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, talking to people in the cabinet, bossing them around.
Yep. No, because he had a 30-minute conversation, and like Bill Clinton was like fucking livid after talking with him, because like he said, "Who the fuck does that guy think he is?"
Yeah.
So it was like right after he got elected.
He's the U.S. president. By the way, Angel, thank you for the other 5 gifted, my friend. Appreciate that. Shout out to you, Angel. Always showing love in here. And then Catch him at College. Thank you for the 2. I'm not sure what you typed there, but thanks for the 2. All right, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, One Chess has the, obviously don't forget to join the Fat Loss contest, guys. Go ahead and get in there if you, you know, the first prize is gonna be $1,500. I'm throwing in $1,000 of my own dollars to help you guys not be fat. That's how much I care. Putting my own money in it. So make sure to get in there. And then, but most importantly, I want you guys to go over to my brother's channel. Let's get him. He's got almost 1,000 live viewers, man. Let's get him over to 2,000. I'm dropping his link in here, guys. I'm gonna get off. He's gonna keep cooking. Okay. He's gonna make fun of that girl that we had on the show yesterday. You guys tune in. He's got some funny shit. He's about a baker. He knows some shit that I didn't know. I wish I knew, but he's gonna cook her. The girl that Clav brought in that was being cocky or whatever. This nigga had some info I didn't know. So go to my brother's stream, guys. He's on YouTube right now. So all you guys that love YouTube so much, I don't want to hear no bitching. You can super chat. You can type in the chat. Go to my brother's YouTube channel. Sub to it. Show me some love, guys. Because basically, if you support him, you support me too. So go check him out, guys. I'm gonna get off. He's gonna take care of you guys for the next few hours. He's gonna cook, and yeah, I'm cooking. I'm about to go to sleep. So love you guys. All right, go check my brother out. Dropping a link in here. Riyadh, we gotta fix your settings, by the way, because I can't raid you on YouTube.
Oh, what the hell?
Fix your, like,
is that even an option on
YouTube?
YouTube?
Yeah, you got to do it at like your community settings, but it's fine. We'll figure it out. Yeah, guys, go check out my brother. Okay, go show him some love. I'll see you guys. Love you, ninjas. I'm out.
All right, bro. Peace out, man.
All right,
Catch
man.
you.
Later.
All right. What's up, everybody? Let me just fix my screen sharing settings very quickly before we get into everything. But that's pretty much for the Middle East. That's the long and short of it, right? Nothing new. Iran starting to show a little bit more boldness and kicking up the hostilities more than they previously have. Previously, it was just always defensive, but now it seems like they're getting a little offensive. So let's see. Got some super chats in here, so thank you guys for the support again. We got one from I Told You, thank you for the 10, and then Get or Create. Maybe you already watched the video from Fatuk's Network. The thing I noticed is when you count the number of missiles versus interceptors. Yes, I think you're talking about when Suleiman was on stream. Is that what you're referring to? Thanks for the 5, Get or Create. I'm not sure what you're referring to. If that's what you're talking about, yeah, we reacted to it. There's a video on it actually on my channel, the one with Suleiman, so you can go take a look at that. But what's up, guys? Good to have you in the chat. Gonna be on here a little longer. We're gonna go over some stuff. Again, we kind of covered the long and short of the war. Very, very brief and easy to understand summary is that the United States and Iran were going back and forth for 13 days. This was in the beginning of the month in July after the Memorandum of Understanding, or that vague peace deal, which was responsible for a 60-day buffer for an ultimate peace deal, fell apart, and Iran formally pulled out of it on that Friday before the hostilities started. For 13 days straight, the United States aggressively bombed the coastline of Iran, aiming to destroy their control of the Strait of Hormuz with their military logistical infrastructure. And at response, Iran started hitting the Gulf nations like we saw back in March before we came to the table for a peace deal on April 6th. But the difference here is now it seems like Iran is interested in erupting the hostilities again with just attempting to strike the Jordan U.S. military air base. But the United States and CENTCOM had announced that they allegedly intercepted every single missile, none hit. We're not getting any on-ground footage and or video from people who may have seen the strike like we see prior with the conflict. So maybe it is true that they intercepted every missile, but the bigger thing to pay attention to here is that Iran is obviously becoming far more emboldened, and that shows not only that they control the Strait of Hormuz, but they're ready for hostilities to pick back up, and that's evident. Trump has been I know Trump is always chickening out. We know the taco situation is imminent in the Middle East as per usual. And so what Trump says is usually what never happens when he makes these big, large threats. But it does seem like Trump has been flirting with the idea of escalating the war far more than it ever had really seemed to be, you know, dangerous for the Middle East. And that was in March. And so now he's flirting with the idea of making it even worse. And you couple in the fact that Ukraine is hitting cargo vessels in the Caspian Sea, which is Iran's only real port to get food, to extract their resources and to import resources and whatever it may be. And so now it seems like Iran is really going to get aggressive in defending themselves. But I don't know. We'll see if there's a U.S. response. We'll see if there's a response to Ukraine. I think I had another chat come in here. Let's see. David says, W. Myron Bro never sleeps. He really doesn't. He's probably going to stay up. Catch Matol says, I was saying tiny hats are pole smokers. Very good. Thank you for the super chats, guys. Trump called into Fox News. And I was going to cover this with my brother, but he's tired, so I don't want to drag him into it. But Trump called into Fox News. This was today at 9 a.m. Can you believe this? And this is like, you know, imagine for the average American citizen how confusing this is. Let me go ahead and pull this up. I'm going to have to fix this. Hang on. Let's see. All right, perfect. So take a look at this. Let me turn my...
Will not have a nuclear weapon. There are reports now that Netanyahu is going to talk to you about ongoing excavation at Pickaxe Mountain, construction vehicles entering and exiting tunnels, paving new access roads. Satellite imagery and intel indicates that Iran is actively constructing and fortifying Pickaxe Mountain. How will we respond?
Well, I don't need Bibi to tell me that. Bibi's telling me that because he wants me to stay involved. I mean, I don't necessarily. We have the finest, because of Space Force, we have the greatest cameras in the world focused on. We know exactly what's going on. But, no, I heard Bibi announce that. I said, why don't you just tell it to me? Why do you have to announce it to the world? I know exactly what's going on at Pickaxe. It's not a big problem. We took out their nuclear sites.
By the way, a week and a half ago, he was saying he was going to bomb Pickaxe Mountain because of the nuclear infrastructure home to that mountain. Now he's saying this. And it's funny because Trump has these moments where, like, he tries to defy Bibi. We'll let this finish here.
And we'll have to take out Pickaxe if we don't make a deal. If we don't make a deal, we'll take it out very easily.
And, okay, it looks like you're going to take it out because there's no deal that will be made without your extreme concession and or capitulation, because Iran has nothing to concede on anymore. They've lost everything. But... you know, Trump does this. You saw this in Axios about a month ago where we were getting these different reports. Trump yelled at Netanyahu on the phone and said, what the hell are you doing? What are you doing in Lebanon? But this is all showing face. Okay, this is showing face. Trump's saying one thing and he's doing a completely different thing. He says, Netanyahu's dragging me into the war. I'm not going to bomb Iran again. You just bombed them for 2 weeks straight. And the Memorandum of Understanding, the peace deal that was brokered with several different stipulations, or at least the eventuation to a peace deal, that's what it was set up for, to effectuate an ultimate peace deal, fell apart because you kept bombing Iran because you were trying to take back control of the Strait, and they would respond by hitting these vessels. In the beginning of the MOU, one of the stipulations within the Memorandum of Understanding was that Iran would control the Strait until a larger deal was agreed upon. And as a result, the United States couldn't sit with that fact and reality, so they tried to undermine Iran by using the Omani waterways and guiding safe passage for these vessels, and then avoiding the Iranian designated waterways, which Iran had told these oil vessels they must go through in order to come out the other side from the Persian Gulf. And so the United States got involved, and Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth, they all make the same excuse. They say, oh, it's for maritime safety. No, it's for maritime control that the United States desperately seeks from the Iranian government. And so we tried to work with Oman and undermine them, and Iran, of course, saw it because they control the 21-mile passageway. It's not this big body of water. It's easy for them to see what's going on. And they started bombing these vessels, and they bombed 3, and that's what prompted the United States to get into this 14-day back and forth before Trump again had said, we're done, and I'll meet Netanyahu on what is today, Tuesday. And so it's all about control of the Strait, and as long as Iran aggressively controls the Strait and makes money on these ships by tolling them and these environmental fees that we're claiming they are, to make it a little bit less painful for ourselves to admit to the United States government, or admit to the United States populace, that Iran is controlling the Strait, then we're never going to actually take back control. We're never going to actually get diplomacy, which is more important. We can't live with that fact. So eventually we're going to have to resume hostilities, right? But Trump tries to do this whole thing. I don't know what the hell Bibi's talking about. He says this, and then Bibi tells the press this right after his meeting with him. This is in Hebrew. But he says, I have just finished an excellent meeting with President Trump. When I say excellent, it's not just lip service, a conversation with full partnership, mutual support, one of the best conversations I've ever had. And you can bet that Bibi's probably telling the truth. I mean, if we had to kind of decide here, right, who's being honest and who's not. I mean, one guy is getting his forever war in the Middle East, and one guy is destroying the energy market for the world. So who is probably lying and who's probably telling the truth? I mean, just look at the pattern that we've seen in the cycle that we've seen over the last 5 months since this war started. You know, we get nothing out of this conflict. Trump gets nothing out of this conflict. Netanyahu gets everything. So when he's happy, I think that's really indicative of something else, which is the fact that we're going to resume hostilities at some point and likely hit Pickaxe Mountain because there's no way out of this. And then here this nigga is falling asleep next to J.D. Vance at the funeral.
Now, you saw...
So, well, with the state of America, bro. And then Stiko's telling me, yo, bro, you're right wing. You support this. You support this. And I'm like, bro, no, I don't. I hate this. I shit on this administration every day.
What was happening to you and your family is a grave
lock back in. Quick lock in.
And the world.
It's okay. I do it at work. This is the got 2 hours of sleep at the work desk 9 a.m. pose right here. Brutal, brutal. Bad look. Look at Rubio. He's praying he wakes up. Yo, Rubio clocked that shit.
See. Now, he saw what was happening.
He like looked away in disgust. Look at Rubio reacting to Trump sleeping. It's almost like, yo, this dude's destroying my dreams and aspirations of becoming president. Because Rubio's, I'd like to think he's going to run, and he's coming out of this GOP. How does he look when he's serving as Secretary of State under a sleeping president? You know, remember, they used these talking points against Biden. They said, Sleepy Joe, the guy is not there. He's always sleeping. And then lo and behold, here you are fucking sleeping at your best friend's funeral, by the way. And the Secretary of State is hawking him down like, bro, how am I going to step on the debate stage in 27 and argue that this administration was beneficial when you're sleeping at your best friend's funeral?
Saw what was happening to you and your family is a grave injustice, and the world got to see.
That's good. That's really good. I didn't even notice that until I watched that back on stream. I didn't know Rubio was giving him the death stare like that. So, yeah, I mean, top to bottom, just such a shit show. But I suppose we can segue off of Iran, right? What's there to really find out about Iran? More war. Okay, nothing new. No surprise there. So let me see. I had some chats come in. Quickly, I'll take a look at these, and then we'll get into this story. Look, I'll be nice to the girl. I'm not going to shit on her. But this girl has been on my TikTok for months. This girl that was on Fresh and Fit yesterday that came on with Clav. You're probably not privy to the situation, so I'll just save the explanation until I can actually show you what I'm talking about. Let me read these chats really quick. Let's see. I told you says, what are the chances that Trump gets impeached before the next election? They're pretty high and increasingly growing as we stay in this war with Iran. So pretty high. Let's see. Angel says, might be a dumb question, but what are the chances to become a world war after Ukraine hit Iran ships? I mean, look, it doesn't seem like Iran really wants to fight Ukraine back. Iran, look, I'm not trying to glaze Iran. Iran has their hands full with the United States and Israel. Okay, they have to fund their proxy in southern Lebanon, that being Hezbollah, which is fighting the IDF currently, trying to fight back for control of that buffer zone south of the Litani River, which the IDF has now controlled and annexed for the large part, which is why we've got over 1 million displaced Lebanese people trying to return back to Lebanon, and successfully some have, but unsuccessfully some have not been able to. And so Iran has to fund that situation. They have to now fund the Houthis and Ansar Allah in Yemen against Saudi Arabia and against their onslaught in controlling the Red Sea and the el-Mandeb Strait. And then they also have to defend their coastline against U.S. aerial aggression. And they have to defend inland against, again, U.S. aerial aggression. So there's a lot of things that Iran is concerned about. Simultaneously, do they want to concern themselves with Ukraine? The answer is likely not. So I'm sure they try to exercise some sort of diplomacy after that strike. But that strike is a sharp escalation and a sign that the United States and really the Western world, NATO, Ukraine, the US, is trying to seize their control and their circumvention of relieving their economy by utilizing the Caspian Sea. The Caspian Sea is a great body of water just north of Tehran that is enclosed within 5 countries: Russia, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan. I think it is obviously Iran. And then there's one that I'm missing. Yeah, I think I said all of them. And so, you know, if they're hitting Iranian vessels in that body of water, well, then that's evident that the United States and maybe Ukraine is aiming to do something else, is aiming to find another way to choke Iran's oil, to choke Iran's ability to make any money or survive during this war. Because the dream scenario right now for Trump is Iran folding to the point where they need to exercise diplomacy. Trump doesn't necessarily, at least as I speak to you now, want to destroy Iran. I think what Trump wants to do is desperately get them to the table. And this is the lie he always coddles with to the United States, and on Fox and all these other different media outlets. This is what he says. And on Truth Social, he says Iran is desperately seeking a deal. They're not. And he would like that to be true so he does not have to continue his military mission. You know, whereas Netanyahu doesn't want Iran to step to the table. Netanyahu wants Iran eradicated. He wants the regime changed. And so you can see how there's so many moving pieces, so many different goals of this war. And for Zelensky, all that matters is that he can get the United States far more invested in the Ukrainian war. Trump kind of turned a blind eye. Obviously, we're supplying them with arms and everything like that. We back the Ukrainians. We are behind Ukraine since the beginning. But not nearly as much as investment has been put into Ukraine as there has been in the Middle East, especially with the Gulf nations. You know, so the Gulf nations are standing and sitting ducks to any sort of Iranian retaliation as a result of our aggression. We have to worry about that. So I don't think that'll go anywhere, to be honest. That's my prediction. I don't think that anything is going to explode with Ukraine and Iran. I think that's unlikely. I don't think it's beneficial for Iran. I don't think it's beneficial for us. We're already stretched wide and thin with our interceptor systems in the Middle East. We can't even defend the airspace of our Gulf allies, which is why 2 or 3 servicemen in the U.S. were killed 2 weeks ago. So it's like, do we really want to have to worry about Ukraine receiving Iranian aggression as well? Because they got launchers that can hit Ukraine. The answer is probably not. So I don't think that'll go anywhere, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think it's a world war, but these are things that are concerning. Let's see. David says, Riyadh, he's not sleeping. He's just that locked in. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. And right, you show that video too. And look, like, I get it. Trump doesn't sleep. I'm actually charitable. Trump doesn't sleep. Apparently, like everybody in the administration, everybody who knows Trump always says he doesn't sleep. He's a night owl. He's up all night. So I get that. Maybe he's tired, whatever. The guy is old, but I'll admit Trump is pretty functioning for an old guy. You know, is he in cognitive decline? Obviously, he's like 79, I believe. So obviously he's in cognitive decline. However, you know, the guy gets no rest and then falling asleep at your friend's funeral. And then you also made fun of Biden for falling asleep. You're doing the same thing. It's just like a bad look. Diplomatically, it's a bad look. Politically, it's a bad look. It's not super concerning. But what are the MAGA shills going to say about that? They're going to be like, oh, he's fighting 5 wars at once and he just rested his eyes, or, you know, and he was handing like, did you see there was a clip of him handing Tic Tacs over to JD Vance? I'm not even kidding. It's like, look, I don't read too much into this stuff. It's just funny. Don't think that I'm trying to make any sort of political conclusion with this. Like, I'm not one of these dumbasses, but stuff like this is it's just funny. You know, so here we have President Trump pulls out some Tic Tacs and shows them to JD Vance. It's like, dude, you're in a classroom and you're bored in the back and you and your boy are just screwing around. Like, this is literally that. Like, what are we doing? Like, what the fuck? And it's just like, you know, he's just hanging out. He's having a good time. Tries to pop one in his mouth. Misses. Gets the second one. And what's he telling JD? He's like, you want a Tic Tac? And he just laughs like this old nigga's losing it. But no, like, I don't want to read too much into that, right? It's insignificant, but it's just funny. It's just funny, you know? Trump is so unserious sometimes. And that's a part of what everybody appreciated about him, especially in 2016, is the political incorrectness, right? We needed that relief. We needed that fresh break. But anyways, let's see. What's your take on fat people? Unacceptable. That's why everybody needs to get with you. Pop your link in the chat. That's One Chest, the official trainer of our community. If any of you guys are struggling with your weight, get with One Chest. He'll help you out in helping you lose that weight. He is a personal coach, certified trainer, helping people recomp and change their bodies. By the way, credentials are as follows. I'll go ahead and show you guys. I'm not a fat piece of shit. Okay, I just use this as an opportunity to flex. But we're all in shape over here, okay? And everybody's getting in shape these days. You know, everybody's on the retatrutides, right? The new peptides and shit. Everybody's in shape these days. But it's true, like, if you're large and obese, first of all, you're going to die, right? Like, you're at an increased risk for, like, every disease. Your life expectancy drops significantly. You probably get no bitches. No one respects you. So, like, there's no reason to be fat, really, you think about it. The more you think about it, the more there's a reason to lose that weight. So, look, I'm not talking out my ass, okay? We're all in shape over here. It's currently how I'm sitting. And I've seen One Chest transform people similar to these two photos. These are 6 months apart. So One Chest can do this for you. If you are fat, get with the official trainer of the community. I wouldn't point you guys in the wrong direction. Never would. So get with him. Quick flex. Let's see. JJ says, if I had $1 for every time we've been lied to about this war, I would have had a colony on Mars without Elon's help by now. So true. That's a fact, bro. How many lies has Trump spewed out of his mouth from February 28th until now? It might be over 100. It really might be over, like, hundreds of times he's lied. Like, hundreds of times he's lied. You know, gas won't go up. The war will be a few weeks at best. Or at worst, rather, I should say. What else did he lie about? We've already destroyed the regime. They have no leadership left. As said, leadership is tweeting at Ukraine like, don't do that shit again. As said, leadership is telling Qatar about 3.5 weeks ago, nah, we're not going to meet the United States, but we can talk to you as the middleman. And then Trump sent a delegation out to Qatar for no reason. Left Witkoff and Kushner in the air to dry. So it's like there's no leadership. That's cap. They have no military capability. That's cap. We control the Strait. That's cap. They're not making money on the Strait. That's cap. That's why we try to take it back. We blocked their blockade. They're not making any money. Cap. They have the Caspian Sea. And some ships allegedly still seep through anyways. We're going to guide vessels out of the Strait. That's cap. It's a lie. Look, people think I'm like just berating Trump for no reason. He is a liar. He's such a... And every politician lies. But Trump's level of lying is like that of which I've never seen before. It's just crazy. And this is a bigger point. That's why anybody who still supports this administration and Trump is like a full-blown dumbass. Because, like, the blatant lying is just inexcusable. We haven't gotten lying like this. Like, even with Obama, we haven't gotten lying like this. So, what are you going to do? That's what happens when you start a senseless war for Israel. You've got to lie. What is he going to tell the truth and say, I'm bombing the Middle East for Israel? I don't think he can really say that. At this point, he might as well admit it, but he's not going to want to say that. He's indirectly kind of implied it, whatever, but he's got to lie. He's got to lie. And despite his lying, his favorability is in the toilet. His approval rating is at its all-time low. So, you know, it's really not helping anything. Anyways, let's see. Andrew says, if I knew Lindsey Graham was burning in hell, I would sleep through his funeral as well. Yeah, very true. Very true. Lindsey Graham was an evil person. Good riddance. One Chest says, are you a fan of body positivity? No. Because body positivity can kill people. If we're being body positive, we're telling people that are slowly killing themselves that what you're doing is okay and you look fine. And there is an objective aestheticness to the body. It's intrinsically within us. A human recognizes somebody who's going to live long. That's a big health indicator. You have your health indicators. You have good skin. You have being in shape. You got teeth. You got lips, whatever, like health indicators. But your weight is probably the biggest one. That's the biggest health indicator. You're walking around looking like a basketball going to roll down the street. Yeah, that's not positive. Nothing's positive about that. Your life is harder. Your joints are aching. Your heart is working significantly harder. And you're at risk for heart disease, a heart attack, any sort of cardiovascular issue, long-term, short-term. You're at a significantly higher risk for that. And diabetes. So, and then many other things. many other things. Brain fog. I mean, there's so many effects of being overweight that overweight people don't even realize because that's become their normal reality. That's their baseline. So, you know, body positivity, that's just destructive. That's like motivating people to kill themselves, you know? So, no, absolutely not. That's a horrible thing. Horrible, horrible thing. And look, I can attack it from like the, oh, these stupid liberals, but it's like actually destructive. You know, you're killing people. Chef says, I'm 17, 6'2", 260, been hitting the gym for 2 months now. Good for you, man. Good for you. You're 6'2", 260. You're either a tank or you're fat. I'm assuming the latter. I don't know. But you're hitting the gym for 2 months. You're probably not a tank. So keep it going, man. Ideally, if you're 6'2", you want to be around, I mean, it's arbitrary. Everybody's different. Everybody holds that weight differently. But you definitely want to be under, I'd say 230, 220. If you have a significant amount of muscle mass, you can maintain that 220. But probably want to be around like 205-ish, 210-ish. That sounds healthy. Or even under that. David says, Trump with fake news, how ironic. Yeah, it's nothing new. It's literally nothing new with him. Anyways, so let's see. So I don't know. Maybe you guys watched the Fresh and Fit podcast last night. Maybe you didn't. But I'll explain it all to you. So I'm sitting down with my boy, right? And we're like, yo, let's just watch Fresh and Fit, whatever, because my brother announced the notification. Or the notification came up, the announcement came up, they're going live with Clav, whatever. And the show kicks off. Dude, can you believe this? Take a look at this. So I see this girl next to Clav. It's going to be somebody immediately clock it.
And then like some interviewers.
So this girl here. And look, before I start, I'm trying to prove a point. I don't really care to attack this bitch, okay? I'm just trying to prove a point. She is going to, unfortunately, be subject to the devastation because of the message that I'm going to have to send. I'm going to have to relay a message here, but I don't want to shit on her, right? But you'll see where I'm going. So she's here with Clav. She's on the Fresh and Fit podcast. I think she got on the whatever podcast. Whatever. She's making her way. She's got like a little bit of a TikTok presence. This girl was on my For You page on TikTok like every other day the last 2 months. And of her TikToks, many of them were her like talking shit vaguely about Clav or like the black pill, although she does do looks maxing. And so I have it here pulled up. She hopped on stream with Clav, did a bunch of segments with him, and this was her in April.
19, 20-year-old girls who are sleeping with Clav on stream are going to regret that so much later in life because they're publicly defaming themselves. They're public.
And then, gang, this is also her yesterday. Like, bro. Like, are we? And it's like, gang, guys will come to me and say, dude, but this girl told me that. Dude, but this girl told me this. Why are you listening to them? This is what I've been trying to say. This is in my last video where I was talking about Lamine Yamal and his girlfriend. Girls say one thing, bro, they do the other. Here we have her saying, oh, you know, what Clav is doing is, or what these girls are doing on Clav stream is negative. Like, gang, just look at the two differences. Or look at the differences.
18.
All I got to do is switch the tab.
19, 20-year-old girls who are sleeping with Clav on stream are going to regret that so much later in life because they're publicly defaming themselves. They're publicly showing themselves getting disrespected by a really controversial figure who is not well received by the general public.
Like, you're a fucking idiot. What a fucking clown. And so it starts off with her just hanging out on stream. I don't know if it's Clav. Someone tells her to turn around and twerk. And she does it. What would happen? I thought this wouldn't be well received. I thought Clav was controversial. I thought that these girls are ruining their future. Or here you are doing the same exact thing. And so you see, I think that's Clav's hand here. He motions for her to like twerk. I don't even know what that was. And so if this girl really stands on any sort of business or is consistent in her rhetoric, she'd at least be like, oh no, I can't do that. Nope, no pushback. Turns around and shakes ass. And it's like, gang, You know, we talk about the hypergamy. They say the red pill is dead. Brother, the red pill is reality. Okay, the red pill's not dead because the red pill is a necessary existence in our life. It's a part of reality. People think it's like this ideology. No, it's grounded in fact. Okay, it's a part of our everyday life, unfortunately. So, you know, people say, oh, that's not true. If a girl really loves you, she won't leave you. She's not going to leave you for the next best guy. Bro, a girl will leave her public image. This girl was sitting here virtue signaling, self-aggrandizing herself as some romantic to herself, not going to go out and jump on stream and twerk kind of girl, berating the other girls who are hooking up with Clav on stream, kissing him, sorry. And so she makes this TikTok, again, self-aggrandizing, making it seem like she's demagoguing this whole idea of being this preserved woman. And then she turned on her own ideals. This video is still up on her TikTok. This video is on her TikTok still. She didn't even have the decency and the wherewithal to go back and delete it. And so you think she's going to be loyal to you when you're likely nowhere near as famous and or as influential and rich as Clav? Bro, she turned on herself. She backstabbed herself. She destroyed all of her morals for a moment of fame of like weirdly shaking her ass awkwardly on stream. And gang, she knew what she was doing. I'm assuming the response to this is going to be, oh, well, I didn't want to and I didn't. Twin, there's a bright ass flash behind a big ass camera with likely a big ass lens with some camera guy who's hooked up with like mics and equipment everywhere. You ever see these IRL streamers in real life? And so she knew exactly what she was doing. And there's other videos too. The video is here. You know, I can't even find this one. She may have went and deleted this one. The girls hooking up with Clav on stream are misogynistic. Not even sure how that makes any sense. I don't know what her point would have been there. And so what's the argument? What's the rebuttal going to be to what I'm saying right now? Oh, but she's not hooking up with them. Okay, gang, her whole message in this video is that women are demeaning themselves on Clav's stream, and then she proceeds to demean herself on Clav's stream. Because, inform me, is any guy who dates this girl in the future going to be happy about that clip? If the clip wasn't controversial, if what she was doing wasn't demeaning and speaking to what she's condemning, then her eventual boyfriend wouldn't mind the clip because it wouldn't have anything that's offensive. But obviously this clip is not a good look. Obviously this clip is going to embarrass her future husband and or boyfriend, future partner, whoever it may be. And so whatever, I'm not. Look, like, you can see I don't make it my mission to attack her. I'm just attacking the greater message I'm trying to tell you guys. A girl will turn on you or even her own morale, even her own ideological consistency that she's been spewing for years if the opportunity like Clavicular inviting you on a boat presents itself as it did to her. And so she jumps on the Fresh and Fit podcast with Clav, which is the most misogynistic podcast like in the world, according to all women. Shamelessly gets on Fresh and Fit, shamelessly twerks on the boat. And this is the same girl spewing this rhetoric.
Year-old girls who are sleeping with Clav on stream are going to regret that so much later in life because they're publicly defaming themselves. They're publicly showing themselves getting disrespected by a really controversial figure who is not well received by the general public. I'm not trying to slut shame or anything like that. It's just certain parts of your life.
No, don't worry. You already did it to yourself. Like, okay.
Are meant to be private, and if you Google your name and there's an 8-hour stream of you going out, partying, getting wasted, and letting yourself be seen by everyone in the entire world in that state, no one's gonna want to date you, right? No one's gonna want to hire you. And it's really sad because I think these girls probably think it's cool, like probably think it's a fun story to tell, but they don't realize the long-term effects of that and like that how that decision could impact them later in life, right? And these aren't just OF girls either. They're also girls, like just normal college girls. And I don't know, I think it's quite sad. And yeah, it's.
And it's like, twin, you're still listening to what girls are trying to tell you. You're listening to their opinions. So it's just crazy. It's like crazy. It's crazy. You could have at least tried to not twerk. You could have at least tried to. So I tweeted. I was pissed. And by the way, I'll show you the tweet in a second. What she's saying is not wrong. She's completely right. That's what makes it so bad. Because the moment a girl says the right thing, she still turns around and does the exact opposite of what she's trying to tell the world. Okay, you're browbeating girls for going on Clav's stream and twerking or kissing with him, and then here you are, and what appears to be you completely sober. It doesn't even look like you're under the influence of any drug and or alcohol, and you willingly twerked to his thousands of viewers and millions of people eventually who will see the recycled clip online. And what's the message that she's sending to girls? Don't do this, you're ruining your future. You want a man in the future, this isn't going to be a good look. And so she's right. I wouldn't want to date a girl and then find out that she was on Clav's stream making out with him in the club, or making out with him on a boat, or twerking on a boat. But here you are. And what's the opportunity? What is the caveat? What's the divot in the situation that makes her turn on her morals? It's the clout. It's the money. It's the opportunistic nature of them, which is, I have a chance to get on Fresh and Fit podcast and get on a boat with Clav and hang out with him and have food with him. And look, somebody may argue she's not doing anything sexually demeaning to a significant matter on stream. Whatever, she turned around and shaked her ass. I'd argue against that, but I'll be so gracious to grant that point. The fact still exists that you guys are hanging out and we know the camera's going to turn off, and it's like, okay, are you hanging with Clav to like be friends with him? Last time I checked, Clav is not going to hang with a girl to like be her friend. Maybe he'll say it's platonic on camera, but it's like, gang, we know why you're hanging with Clav. It's not because of your following. It's not because of your TikTok following. Clav is global compared to you. She's got 91K followers on TikTok. Do you think Clav is opportunistically seeking a collaboration with her to grow his audience? She's a female. Clav's audience is mainly male anyways, from what I understand. So it's like, you're on stream and you're with Clav for one reason and one reason only. We're not all going to act like idiots in here, okay? You're not on stream with Clav to demonstrate your looks maxing knowledge or demonstrate your knowledge of pharmaceuticals or give game, okay? You're on stream because Clav likes you. For better or worse, by the way, I mean, good for her. She's got a good opportunity, but you can just see how these girls turn on their morals. And in a way, she's shitting on Clav, saying he's controversial and she's fence riding, and then she just jumps on his stream. And there's other videos that have been deleted. I'm telling you, I used to see her on my For You page all the time, like pushing looks maxing, but then also like shitting on Clav. I don't know what her goal was. Whatever, I never really cared. I didn't pay much attention. But these videos on TikTok caught a lot of traction. The video that she has a video called Peptide 101, her most viewed video, it seems like one of her most viewed, 1.8 million views. So it's like, obviously Clav is influencing you, and you still try to browbeat these girls who are on his stream and then say he's vaguely misogynistic, as well as the fact that he's demeaning these girls and these girls are demeaning themselves, and then here you are. So really just be careful with what you're taking from women in terms of advice and or what they're saying literally. It's all a joke, right? It's all bullshit. But I thought that was like just calm. I just thought it was hilarious. And so my brother got into it with her on Fresh and Fit as well. She says her IQ is 132, which is like, that could possibly be true. It still doesn't take away from the fact that you're not consistent ideologically. You'll turn on your own opinion in a moment, in a heartbeat, for a little bit of clout, in a moment of opportunity. Okay, your IQ is neglected in the face of that. You have no moral character or consistency.
So I wasn't really like prepared for it.
I'll be honest with you, we don't really give women spotlight on the show. Like, I genuinely, like, female influencers are fucking second class, dude. Like, I really like I don't.
Yo, I don't react to Fresh and Fit for the sole reason that, like, I'm just afraid it's gonna screw my channel, and we're like 17 seconds in already.
Yeah, like, we only really give one-on-one interviews to men, or like if it's like or someone like an
well, look, it's a men's show.
Exception, like, you know, Candace, like, who's like a front of the show, but like other than that, like most female influencers, no offense, like suck.
I didn't think it was gonna be just me.
You just said you and Clav.
Yeah, I thought Clav was gonna be there, and then I was.
You
wouldn't
be on if it was just him. Like, the fuck?
Yo, like, my brother's in the chat. He says, "Enjoy, peasant." Dude, we were watching this yesterday. Yo, bro. Yo, you're in the chat? Yo, I was mad. Because I'm like, yo, this girl I was confused. I'm like, does Clav know that she was shitting on him? And likely he does. It seems like Clav does not like to fight with people. Like, he just takes the high road. He doesn't care for petty drama. He doesn't care for the beefs. So, and by the way, she's incredibly mid. Super Saiyan mid. Bitch is like a 5 at best. You know, I suppose Clav... Hey, look, you could argue she mogs me. Nigga, she's mid. I'm a guy. I'm not supposed to be pretty. That bitch hit. But anyways, it was just funny, you know, like I was watching this. I didn't get to see all of this, but yeah, reacting to Fresh and Fit is a little risky. You never know what word is going to fly around. But let's see. I have some chats. Let me read these actually before I get into this reaction because it's going to probably be in depth. Let's see. Kinetic says, W Riyadh, can you put in a good word for Curtis Leon to get released from the Shadow Realm with Myron? He's watching right now. So if Myron decides, he will release him, but likely not. JJ Tay says, the video of her was not talking to other women, but to herself in the mirror before forgetting her own advice 5 seconds later. Ha ha ha. Dude, it's just... Again, you want to jump on... Delete the video. I don't know. Like, the video's still up. It has like 100K likes or 600K likes. Like, gang, she's sitting here on Fresh and Fit, twerking on the boat, and... Twin, the video has like 600,000 likes, I believe. Yeah, it has 653,000 likes. Like, have you no shame? You're literally on a boat twerking with the same guy you're complaining about that's demeaning women and women demeaning themselves. Anyways, Myron says, enjoy, peasant. Shout out to Myron. W Myron in the chat. Yeah, it's going to be funny to react to. And then DJ Vlad Official says, is the earth round or flat? It's 1,000,000% round. Flat earthers are retarded. Okay.
Like, this is what I'm trying to say. If we did a one-on-one interview with Clav, it would just be a Clav. Nobody gives a fuck about your friend.
Wait, I forgot to ask, where did you go to college?
Me?
Yeah.
W Frank. I love Frank, man. I gotta go see this nigga again. Yo, Myron, you're watching. Bring him in August, bro. Bring him in August. I will gladly watch him, walk him. No problem at all. And I'll catch some aura walking him as well. And plus, he's trained. Highly competent dog, probably fun to walk, not a pain in the ass like my friends' dogs who control them, essentially. So yeah, W Frank. Always got to shout out my nigga Frank.
Northeastern. Go Huskies.
And what did you get your degree in?
Criminal justice.
And what did you get your
I don't have a master's.
Okay, how old were you when you graduated college?
23. It's a 5-year school.
Okay. I mean, I graduated when I was 19.
No one cares.
I'm not saying anyone cares, but I'm saying you're trying to like demean me as a woman and saying that I'm not a valuable conversation. And
yo, that was an interesting. That was an
you don't have
way
female.
to. Where'd you go to school? Where'd you get your degree from?
I got it from Vermont.
University of Vermont.
Yeah.
That school fucking sucks.
65% acceptance rate. Dude, isn't Northeastern like a highly selective university? I don't think it's an Ivy League. What's Northeastern's acceptance rate? Let's pull it up on screen here. Okay. This bitch has the audacity to try and call my brother out for 5.2%. Like, okay. And also, it's funny because she's like trying to go back and forth with him. And she's thinking he's like these other internet niggas that have no history aside from like one viral clip and then taking advantage of it. My brother went to college, has his bachelor's degree, Northeastern University, a prestigious school in Boston, then was a federal agent with Homeland Security and investigations for years. Cracked down on crime, drug smuggling, human smuggling, ran cases, like had a legitimate job with the U.S. government, a very prestigious one, a job that no retard could ever try and occupy for more than 5 seconds without losing their mind. It's like she doesn't even know who she's dealing with. She thinks she's dealing with like the typical dumb podcaster. It's like, nope, actually, you've met your match. You have certainly met your match.
Like, my school has a 6% acceptance.
And by the way, her having a degree is just actually an L. I'd rather you not be educated. Because educated women are so prancy and pompous. They're fucking annoying. That's what fuels a lot of their insufferability. Well, I'm educated. I have a... All right, bro. Walking around flexing that. No one cares, bro. At the end of the day, we just want you to stay home and take care of the kids. I don't care that you have a master's degree. You want to go be a doctor? You want to go have some prestigious job? Good. You're not for me. Yeah, I don't need you to be a hustler boss. That's not what I want in my house. So
that's right.
Okay, and I got into Cornell and I didn't go because I wouldn't have been able to.
Myron, actually,
you got into Cornell, you didn't go. That's fucking bullshit.
No, because I
Oh, this is good already. I'm having a hard time believing that as well. Let's see.
couldn't afford to go because I got freaking scholarships.
That's bullshit. Because the Ivy Leagues have some of the best financial aid packages. You're fucking lying. Shut up. Like you're
65%.
Why would I lie?
100% lying. All the Ivy League schools have fantastic financial aid packages.
I don't lie. That's like I'm like autistic. I don't lie.
Yeah, you just did.
Okay, whatever.
Like all the Ivies have the best.
I'm like autistic. All right, holy LARP. Shut up. You ever notice like people try to say like I'm autistic to vaguely hint that they're like smart? Shut up. Quit the, like, just, it's so cringe. It's so cringe. There's a very good, like, who turns down Cornell? Come on.
Best financial packages by far.
Okay, whatever.
And you went to UVM, like, of all. You could have went to another school. That
I went to Cornell. I couldn't afford to because they wouldn't let me transfer in the credits that I got during.
Let's say you're correct and it is true. Who cares if you went to a nice school, okay?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Facts. That's what I just said.
Who cares? But I'm just saying he's trying to make me sound like stupid because I'm a woman.
You brought it up.
Okay, let me be explicitly clear about this.
Yeah.
I'll be very honest.
Okay.
Uh-oh. You see, the moment this nigga drops the pen and says, 1 fucking second, actually. Let me make something very fucking clear. Yeah, you know it's over. Okay. Myron, takeover of the show. Everybody, silence!
I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
No one really gives a shit about female streamers or female influencers. Like, we bring you guys on, like, to laugh at, like, how dumb y'all are. But that's about it. Like, if we brought Clav on for an interview, it would just be Clav because people give a shit what he's got to say. No one really gives a shit what women got to say.
I understand that people don't give a shit what I have to say, but it's not because I'm a woman. It's because I'm not.
It's because you're a female, yeah.
No,
the female.
but you say this, but you literally have to bring.
Suck.
You really have to bring females on your podcast.
No, he doesn't.
I think I should just stop.
No, he doesn't at all.
No, we don't. All right. You literally had to bring female on your podcast cause shut the fuck up. Oh, Myron just chatted in. Thanks for the 50, bro. Appreciate that. Appreciate the shekels. He says, these 304 is talking about I got a master's degree but masturbate every day. Also, Ivies have financial aid packages to ensure you can go 100% cap. Yeah, no one says no to Cornell. No one says no to Princeton and Yale and Harvard and Caltech. People are never turning down those offers. LOL. Yeah, she says, I didn't get the packages. Okay. And even then, you wouldn't take out a loan to go to one of the best colleges in the world? In the world. You know, people leave China to go to schools like that. She realizes that, right? Like, people leave their countries to come to the U.S. solely for these Ivy League universities. That's how opportunistic they are. It doesn't even matter what you study there. You could study, nigga, air. You could study environmental whatever bullshit. So think of the dumbest major. You will still likely get a good job and or have good connections that can lead to success in your life from going to these very prestigious Ivy League institutions. Everybody knows that. It's the people you meet there are absurdly successful. So that's just like it's just a lie for so many reasons. So these 304 is talking about I got a master's degree but masturbate every day. Yo. Yeah, it's such cap. It's such LARP. It is such LARP. And here you are sitting down on the podcast. So what are you trying to act like you are superseded over everybody? Like you're like better than everybody? Like shut up.
But you
actually get way more views on my solo shit. To be honest with you, it's really infuriating talking to women.
But I'm saying you still bring females on your podcast.
Yeah,
right?
I just explained.
And
why.
you see the chat, you see the demographic of people that are watching
still
this
use
podcast.
females.
What does that do with anything?
Very miserable people. Miserable people want to see people laugh at women, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing: like, we don't do anything. We just ask questions, and you guys say dumb shit, and then they laugh.
Exactly, because that's
so
the
it's like,
dynamic
we
of
don't make
that.
We don't make y'all look bad.
Nobody said that you
I don't
did.
think I did look bad. No.
Yeah, nobody said that.
Like, because the thing that's crazy to me is like your entitlement, where you think like you would be worthy of like sitting in for an interview, and we're talking to Clav, like sitting beside him as if you're equal. You're not. So I gotta bring you back to reality.
Right. Maybe
not
with you guys. I gotta
bring you down to reality a little bit.
Like,
like, no one gives a fuck what you think, dude. Like, no
you
one
don't give a fuck what I think, but plenty of people give a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck what you think.
Well, no one's really going to give a fuck what you think when you're browbeating women for jumping on Clav stream saying they're never going to have a future, and then you also twerk a few months later. Yeah, so that's aging well, isn't it?
Either you have to get females' opinion.
You and your audience don't give a fuck what I think, and I'll give
you
you that.
have to get females' opinion. Nobody gives a fuck what you think.
You could barely name 3 countries, and you're.
Nigga, nobody cares what he thinks. This is his show. They're watching because of him. If he wasn't on that fucking show, no one would watch, you dumbass.
College.
But I did though.
We're cooked.
But I
Took you
did
forever to do it.
And you're not even working in what you got a degree for.
What's that?
You're not working in what you got a degree for.
Do you know
You
what I
said
used to do
criminal
before this?
justice.
You know
No,
what I
I
used to do?
don't.
Then shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
All right,
You don't
so
know
you
shit.
shut the
You don't know
fuck up.
either, which is
I'm
hilarious.
saying currently though. Currently you're.
It's hilarious. I graduated at 19. Okay, that's great. Like I did shit before the podcast.
But I'm just saying you're calling me stupid.
You are.
I'm stupid.
She said, I'm just saying, but you're calling me stupid. You know, you expect some capitulation, some concession. Doubles down. You are fucking stupid.
Yeah, I don't think you're that intelligent or that
What's your
impressive
IQ?
to be around 130.
I'm 132.
Around 130.
I'm 132.
Oh, she goes 2 points above.
Okay.
No, that's
Yeah.
not. I literally told him earlier during dinner. I had a neuropsych exam and I have a 132.
Okay, 2 points.
Good for you. That 132 means nothing in the face of you consistently lying and not standing on your principles that you're telling 630 plus thousand people. 630,000 plus people. How many views did the video get? Hang on. How many views does this shit get? Let me see. Video got millions of views. Like, does she not realize this is still up?
These 18, 19, 20-year-old girls who are sleeping with Clav on stream are going to regret that so much later in life because they're publicly defaming themselves. They're publicly showing themselves getting disrespected by a really controversial figure who is not well received by the general public.
Here we are sitting right next to him. Got on the show because of him. Shut up. 132 IQ, huh?
It's above.
Number one, I doubt that. And then number 2, even if it were, no one cares.
And nobody.
Like,
No, you're right. No one
I
watching
find
this
it
cares. No
absolutely
one watching
ridiculous.
this cares. Yeah,
I find it
you're right.
ridiculous that you think that, oh, I would just think it would just me and Clav, as if like you're on the same level. Like that's crazy.
I didn't, but the thing is I didn't even make that statement
It's implied.
to get an argument out of you. I just was saying that like I wasn't expecting to be in a panel, and I was just saying that, and I wasn't trying to start an argument.
Why do you not expect to be on a panel?
I thought it was gonna.
Gang, what the fuck? She looks like sick. Am I crazy, or she looks like sickly skinny? Like, dude, this is the
I'm not trying to slut.
She looks way healthier here. Yo, can somebody tell girls don't do the like shredded thing? That's not for you. That's for boys. Aren't women's hormones like wrecked when they get that lean? Anyways, gang, I'm actually like concerned now. I'm done cooking her. She looks sick.
Like I don't.
Her fucking shoulder bone is popping out. She looks like she can stab somebody with it. Face is sunken in. Like, gain some weight back. You look fucking crazy. This is what I'm saying, man. People get on the Reddit and they like take it to the next level. It's like, bro, lose the weight you need to lose and then titrate off. Call it a day. What? She looks fucking sick. Holy shit.
No, I didn't. There's this and the Whatever podcast are the only 2 panels.
I didn't even realize until like they zoomed out a little bit, but like, girl needs to eat. Like, okay, you would probably look better with like 15, 20 more pounds in your frame.
Podcast that I ever heard of in my
So
life.
then if you knew that, then why would you be surprised?
Well, I didn't realize that Fresh and Fit was. I forgot that it was a panel podcast.
You didn't do
Like,
your research?
No, she knew, bro. She just wasn't. She just wanted more, spotlight.
Got you.
That's
No,
what it is.
I didn't do my research.
I mean,
We can tell.
I told you the rules and everything, right? I said, hey, the bathroom break and everything, and then during the intro, you went up during the bathroom and then used the bathroom.
Okay, walks into, first of all, she knew what Fresh and Fit was. Say she didn't. Exactly where was the surprise? You were messaged, Clav probably told you. You see the big fucking table with like 10 mics, a soundboard, an audio engineer in the corner that you can't miss, by the way. Love Big Mo, can't miss him. I'm like, all right, what did you think you were getting on? Exactly. A fucking game show? Was the spinny wheel did it fool you? Like, what are you lying for?
Yeah, because I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, well, you didn't tell nobody. I said, hey, girls, if you want to use the bathroom, like, let me know. and you got up right away, went to the bathroom.
Chris, it's okay. She's autistic, bro.
No, man, she's entitled. It's what it is. Like, bro, she's entitled, bro.
Don't worry, she's entitled. She is.
Don't worry, I am too, bro. I am too.
Like the fact that she thinks like she's on the same level where it's like, oh yeah, I
Bro,
thought
you
it'd be
are
like me
not.
and Clav being interviewed. Nobody gives a fuck about you, bro.
You?
Maybe Clav is like friends with you. He's not gonna say it, but I'm gonna say it. Like no one gives a fuck, bro. Like you're not on the same level.
Yeah,
at
I'm
all.
not because I don't have the same level of fame as him. But it's just the fact that you're saying that.
And I'm just
it's
reminding you because you think you
basically
do
because
for
of
some
gender.
odd reason.
No, I don't think I do.
You clearly do.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Did you not hear what you just said?
That's not what I insinuated by this at all.
Okay.
All right.
That's not what I insinuated by the statement. And it's the sexism that I'm arguing with, not the.
It's just that I called you out, so now you're walking it back. Like I'm not dumb. Like it's fine.
Yeah, sorry, Clav. We cooking the Clav. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is,
absolutely
man.
entitled.
I probably
And honestly, you should be fucking grateful they even collabs with you after you fucking criticize them. To be honest with you.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Mr. Drippy, thank you for the 20. He says 132 IQ, my ass. Yeah, I mean, look, some people can have high. Listen, this is going to sound crazy. IQ is not indicative of everything, bro. Somebody can ace an IQ test and still be a dumbass in certain aspects. That's just true. Okay? So, it can be true. Maybe it's false. She's still a dumbass. Doesn't matter. Right? So that's really good.
I didn't realize.
I want to find the other video of her talking shit, but I've only found one. But it's just like the fakeness is unbelievable. I think he actually gets into it with this black girl too. Hang on, this is pretty funny. Don't worry, we won't spend too much time on this, but this is good. Let's see if I can find it here.
Okay. Your page, you talk shit about Clav
Oh wait, okay, Fresh called her out for it.
on TikTok.
Yeah, like a few times. Like
You
twice.
did.
Yeah.
It was you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just remembered. Yeah.
No.
So why are you still with him now? Why are you his friend now? Hold on a second here.
Wait.
Hold on a second here.
Flames on Twitter for this right now.
It's the homie here. Why are you talking shit about Clav?
It's good that you bring this up because a lot of people are pointing this out since I was on a stream yesterday. But I've made like I post 3 times a day on TikTok, so I've made a few videos about Clav since he's been in the media. Mostly criticizing him, not hating on him.
About what?
We've talked about this. I thought that in particular, some of the things that were going on his stream, including stuff that happened yesterday, was
yesterday? On the yacht?
On the yacht.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Wait, what happened yesterday on the yacht?
I made a critique that like.
Hey, just so you
that
know,
wasn't cool.
what happens on the yacht stays on the yacht.
What happened?
Okay.
on the yacht?
Continue.
Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I just made a critique that like a lot of the kind of both ends, but a lot of the girls getting into that, they might just be like 18-year-old girls who are going out to the bar and picking up with a guy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. There's no way she's doing this right now. There's no way she's doing this right now.
And like maybe they're not really thinking about the fact that they're being live streamed and that could come back to haunt them.
What the fuck do you fucking mean, you stupid fucking bitch? Are you fucking stupid? They don't know they're being live streamed? Who doesn't know Clav is live streaming to thousands of people every day? What do you mean they don't know what they're doing? There's a big camera with the flash in front of them. These girls know exactly what they're doing, and they regret it later because they see the negative backlash of their actions. This is 132 IQ in display? Is this the 130 IQ she's talking about and bragging about, boasting about? Is this that same IQ in action? I don't think so. Thank God he didn't fucking go to Cornell because you would have got rejected day 2. What are you talking about? These girls don't know. She's like vaguely insinuating he was exploiting young girls that don't know what they're doing. These girls know exactly what the fuck they're doing. They're full able-bodied women. And they know exactly what Clav does every day. These girls are seeing all his clips on TikTok, which is largely comprised of girls that age. So there's no surprise there. You can make a better argument that if Clav is doing these things with like an older woman, she's more innocent because she doesn't understand his fame and reach. The younger bitches 1,000,000% understand exactly what's going to happen when they kiss him on stream. It's going to be down the X timeline for the next 3 days because Clav is a superstar. Like, you can make an argument that the older woman wouldn't know that. Oh, they're 18, they're 19, they're 20. That's even more of a sign that they know exactly what they're getting into. They're privy to this. They understand the IRL kick streaming culture. They know how this shit works. They know how clipping culture works. Oh my God, that's painful, dude. That's painful. Just be honest and say, I take back what I said. But this is the problem. They can't be wrong. This is the problem. This is why the 130 IQ is just negated, because her pride is in the way of it anyways. You can't be wrong. Let's see. Oh, wait, I got some chats here from Byron. I didn't see these. A 4. Myron says 4.9 out of 10 on her best day. Curtis Leon will always stay in the Shadow Realm. He's in Toon World now. All right, Curtis, there's your answer. Myron also says no one turns down an Ivy to go to UVM. 1009% cap. Yeah, that's just cap. Legend says she would have said 2 IQ points above Myron no matter what number he said. Yeah, like Myron says 130. She casually says, I'm 132. Okay, fucking cap. Capping your ass off. Your fucking cheeks are sinking through your skeletal face. Fucking lying, capping, whatever. Myron says she got caught multiple lies. She didn't get into Cornell. If she did, it would be contingent from extra work she didn't want to do. Or she didn't want to. You don't go from Cornell to UVM. Didn't know what FNF is. All cap. Yeah, she's just blatantly lying. Blatantly lying. Mr. Hillman says this segment proved Myron right about everything. 1,000,000%. 1 million. As per all the other segments, bro. It's like every single time the vindication is evident. You know, people say hypergamy is not true. Here this girl is talking shit about Clav, then meat riding him, twerking on him on stream, twerking with him on stream. Might as well kiss him. You're twerking on stream. Clav obviously doesn't want to be your best friend. We know why you're around. Lamine Yamal's girl leaving his normie ex, her normie ex, getting with him, jumping on the World Cup stage. Like, bro. Oh, Myron's calling in. Yo.
Yo. You got me on speaker?
Yeah, you're on stream.
Yeah. No, so like, let me tell you guys why I got so offended by that shit. My brother's from, obviously, we're both from Connecticut, bro. So let me explain to you guys. Like, for people from New England are about to know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, if you're from New England or you go to school in the Northeast, it's a very, like, it's a tight community. You know all the schools in the area. You know what it takes to get in. You know what your SATs got to be. You know what sports you got to do. Like, bro, I know people that purposely fucking fenced, bro. They literally fenced, okay, because they knew that it was a very hard sport to get into, and, like, that was a way to get into Harvard. Like, these motherfuckers develop strategies on how to get into these schools, like, from the time they're children, okay? Like, higher education is taken extremely seriously in New England. And when you get into an Ivy League school, you don't fucking turn that shit down.
Never.
Like, and you definitely don't turn it down for fucking financial aid. That's how I knew she was lying right away. Because, Riyadh, I'd love to get your take on this because you're younger than me, so you'll know better. Because she graduated, like not too long ago. The Ivy Leagues will find a way to get you money, bro.
1,000,000%.
Like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Dartmouth, UPenn, what am I missing?
Yale.
Like 8 or 9.
I think you said Yale. You said Yale.
Yeah. Well, okay. One more time. Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Cornell, UPenn, and Philly.
UPenn. You've got Columbia, Brown.
Columbia, New York City, and Brown. There you go.
Yes.
Boom. Columbia and Brown. All of these schools, bro. Like, if you have financial hardship, they will fucking find a way to get you in, bro. They will. Because these schools, that's another reason why I know she's lying. All these Ivy League schools have huge fucking endowments. Like, I don't think you guys understand. Like, I'll give you an example. So, rowing, right? You guys know it's a very expensive, because I figured this shit out when I was at Northeastern. Like, I didn't know any of this shit until I went to, like, an elite school myself. So, Harvard, right? I'll give you an example. So, in rowing, right? A boat that you get for crew is an Empocker, right? That boat is like $50,000 to $100,000, right? Like, and like donors will donate those boats. Harvard has a waiting list so that you could donate a boat. So I'm gonna say that again. There's a list of niggas waiting to give you $50,000 to $100,000 to fucking buy a boat. Harvard has a waiting list. Okay, that's just on the rowing team. You know, that doesn't even account for all the other, like, sports and money that these schools get. All the Ivy Leagues are like that. My good friend in college, I'll never forget, his name was Greg. His entire family went to Cornell. It's like a fucking lineage thing. He was the only nigga that went to Northeastern. And, like, they're like, oh, what the fuck? So, like, when people say, like, I got this Ivy, but I didn't go or whatever, it's a fucking lie. Like, and for her to lie off of financial aid, that's how I knew she was bullshitting. Because if you don't have the money, the Ivy Leagues will find a fucking way to get you funded. They will always find a way because these schools have enormous amounts of money. So that's a lie. And then also the other one, the other way that she could have gotten accepted was they told her, look, we're going to accept you like on a contingency. You need to complete the summer program or you need to do X, Y, Z, and then we'll let you in. And a lot of people don't want to do that because, you know, obviously it's still not guaranteed and it's still competitive. Or they might make her want to take another test or whatever. So what I think is more than likely, she either A, didn't get in at all, lying, or B, got in, but like she had to do all this extra shit. She was like, fuck that. And she went to UVM. That's the other giveaway. Like, you don't go to fucking UVM from Cornell, you lie. Like, I was just so mad because it's like, because she's like insulting my intelligence. Like, I'm like, as soon as I told her Northeastern, she should have like known, okay, I can't lie to this nigga, like, because like we're tight net. But I don't think she's from New England. Where the fuck was this bitch from?
I think she's from the West Coast. I think.
Yeah, I think she was from the West
Not
Coast
sure,
or
though.
Midwest or something. She went to college at in Vermont. But like, yeah, like I was insulted that she would lie about that because it's like, you know, like you just know shit like this, bro. You just like if you're from New England and you go to school up north, like we take higher education extremely fucking seriously. So when she said that shit, she was like, "Oh yeah, I went to UVM." Bitch, you don't go from Cornell to UVM, like nigga, like you go to like fucking. If you don't go to Ivy, you better go to MIT. You better fucking go to Stanford. Like you don't go from like an Ivy to like one of these fucking schools, bro.
Yeah.
Like a shitty ass state school. Get the fuck out of here. That's bullshit. So yeah, that's how I knew it was cap. I don't know what if you want to add anything to that.
No,
Like
that's
an insult to my intelligence, bro.
No, that's good insight. And it's very true, though. I have a friend who went to Yale from high school. This girl I knew, she was like top of the class, whatever. And I know that her family didn't have like any money. She was this first gen like Salvadorian girl. She was Hispanic. I won't go any further in detail to dox her. But dude, they spotted her like everything. Like she barely paid anything. And I think at first she had told them, hey, I don't have the ability to pay for this, this, and that. I don't remember the exact situation and or the dynamic, but I know that they spotted her, and she ended up graduating from Yale just a few years ago. So, like, that's just not true. These schools will fight tooth and nail to admit anybody they're offering scholarships to into the school, even if they need to raise those scholarships. Like, that's the goal. They're banking on elite human capital. They're banking on the best of the best, the brightest of the brightest. So it's not like any other school where somebody can't get in because of money and you just replace them with yeah, they're not looking for any Tom, Dick, and Harry. They're looking for exceptional talent. So they're willing to fight for that, you know, because that adds to the school's credibility.
The Ivy Leagues, like, that's what I'm trying to, like, guys, you got to understand. When it comes to Ivy Leagues, the reason why people want to get into Ivies, right? And I really suggest all you young guys that are young, if you're going to go to college, and you're gonna major in some bullshit, you better go to
my biggest regret is not trying to get into one. My biggest regret is not taking high school serious. Just to say this really quick, not to interrupt you, go. We have some younger people who watch. Yo, if I can give you any valuable advice, bro, I just wanted to get past high school, blow past college, go to any college. If I can go back in time, I would have taken high school seriously and went to a prestigious school. That way I can ensure I'm coming out of college, not hunting for a job, knowing the right people, and likely making tons of money or being in an advantageous position. Like, these Ivy Leagues pay way more than what you would think in terms of what you're receiving for the benefit of going. You know, so huge. I can't, you know, harp on that enough.
Yeah, like, so for all the young guys, me and my brother about to give you guys some real fucking advice here. Look. Here's the reality. A college degree, when I was going to college, was worth a lot. This was back in 2008. Now, it's worth nothing. So here's the reality. You got two options. You either A, major something that's going to make you money no matter where you graduate from. B, you go to an Ivy League school, and then you can get a bullshit degree, and you'll get a job after that. Or C, you pick up a trade and just accept it. But the worst thing you could do is go to, like, a middle-of-the-road college and major in some bullshit. That's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
Especially if you're taking out loans to go. If you're going to school for free, I can accept that. But, like, going into debt while simultaneously getting a degree that won't get you a job, that's retarded. So,
yeah, I got very lucky in my given situation, but I did just that. I went to an average school, majored in some bullshit in marketing. I ended up getting lucky, but you want to know why is because I kind of knew the right people and I had a good-looking resume. I had a good-looking resume coming out of college and everything like that. But I think it was because of my connections and really not even because of what I studied. And so that's just a bigger testament to the fact that these people you're meeting at these Ivy League schools are going to make your reality. You know, like it's just a grand pile of nepotism that you can reap the benefit from in all of these very, very highly established institutions.
Dude, it's all who you know, man. When I tell people all the time, when I went to Northeastern, I got into HSI because Northeastern has a fucking, they call it the Northeastern Mafia, where there's a bunch of high-ranking agents in the agency that all went to Northeastern, and they make sure that they keep the co-op program, and they fucking hire people from there. So I was able to get in through that. So like that, and that was like, that was a lineage that the school built up. So when you go to the Ivy Leagues, right, or these elite institutions, they have networks like this. Like these guys are like hardcore alumni. Niggas show up to the fucking reunions, all that shit. So you want to go to a school that has that. So like, and I highly suggest, man, like, look, if you're not gonna do an Ivy League like out of high school, that's fine. But I do think it's worth it. Like if you pursue your master degree or some other shit like that, try to get into an Ivy League for your post grad. You know what I mean? Like that's
$1 million.
I do think it, because it'll get you a job, bro. Like you go to Harvard, you go to Yale, you go to any of these Ivy League schools, it'll get you a job. And the other good thing about Ivy Leagues is, if you get in, they have really good financial aid. Really, really fucking good financial aid. Because these schools have so much money, they don't care about making money on you. They want to truly get the best of the best and, like, you know, put you in their pipeline. They would rather take a student that's brilliant, right, that like, if meets their requirements over, like, making money. These schools make enough money. They got endowments out the fucking moozah.
Yeah.
So that, like, that's why it's, like...
and that's why you got to take high school serious, bro. You got to take high school serious. Like... high school really seems like and feels like a fucking joke, especially when you're a 15, 16-year-old roaming the halls trying to fuck around and piss off. But you really got to make sure you got an impressive transcript coming out of high school, because you're going to be mad when you're left with all of these shit, average, run-of-the-mill schools. Go ahead.
Because I was a shitty fucking high school student.
Oh, yeah, your story is really good. Yeah, tell this, yeah.
So this is what I did. So I went to a state school, right? I went to like I went to Central Connecticut State University, like a very, you know, mid-tier, middle of the road state university, right? I went there for a year, right? I worked my ass off. I was like, man, fuck this shit. I don't want to be here. So I went there for a year. I got really good grades. I maintained like a 3.9 GPA or whatever. I fucking transferred, right? And I was able to transfer in. Here's the glitch. Here's the fucking advice that I'm going to tell y'all right fucking now. It is way easier, 10 times fucking easier, to transfer from a mid-tier university to a good university than it is to go to a good university fresh out of high school. Bro, it's like I cheated. Yes, it sucks. I had to spend a year, like, you know, in Connecticut fucking doing 2 semesters or whatever. But, dude, number one, I was able to save money. And then number two, I got into Temple and I got into Northeastern. And I took Northeastern. Temple wanted me to fill out, like, some more paperwork. I said, fuck that shit. I don't want to go to Philly. Because, I looked up North Philly and I was like, no, thank you. So I went up to Boston instead. Best decision I ever made was to get the fuck out of New Britain. But yeah, dude, like that's the other glitch, guys, is if like your high school grades aren't that good, do 1 year at like, you know, a mid-tier university. Try to, I mean, if you could do community college too, but like the problem with community college is like, community college is good only if like you're trying to go to a state school. So like, let's say you're, you know, you go to like in Connecticut, right? We had fucking Tunxus Community College or whatever. You go to Tunxus and then you can like transfer to like Central Connecticut State or UConn or some shit like that. Like if you want to stay in state. But if your goal is to like get the fuck out the state and like really like, you know, expand, go to a real university, do 1 year at that bitch, get really good grades, like damn near 4.0, then apply to one of these other schools, and that's the glitch, bro. Transferring in. Now, the only negative about being a transfer student is your credits might not all translate over. That's the only negative, but fuck it, bro. It's worth it because what you're doing is you're saving, like you're basically able to like make up for 4 years of being a slacker in high school. So like that's the way to get around. That's the way to get around the whole thing. And the other reason why college was to me, guys, this is gonna sound crazy. College to me was easier than high school because like with college, you make your classes on your own time. I was never a morning person. I always hated that shit. So like going to college like at night or middle of the day, I was able to do that. I was able to actually focus. I was able to take this shit seriously. I got really fucking good grades because it's all on you. Like teachers aren't like on your ass. Like if you don't show up to class, you take an F. They don't give a fuck. They're getting paid. So that's the glitch, man. So either work really hard in high school, or if you don't work hard in high school, go to a mid-tier university. Go do really fucking well. Bust your ass. Get that 4.0. like really work hard as close as possible to go there, and then transfer to a better school. When you transfer to that better school, they're going to Jew you. You're not going to get all your credits that you want. It is what it is, you know, whatever. But you're basically offsetting you sliding off of high school, doing 1 year at a university that's cheaper, and then you can easily transfer to a way fucking better school doing that. That's a glitch that no one ever talks about, being a transfer student.
Very, very good advice. Yeah, and I remember it only took you 1 year, and it was a quick year, by the way. And right away, you got accepted into much better schools. And that's the thing. People are saying, I see people in the chat like thinking we're endorsing college and college only. Look, I'm not saying only go to college. If you're gonna go to
niggas are stupid.
Niggas can't understand
that's what
nuance.
You took away from this conversation, like, guys, for you guys that are listening, if that's what you took away from this conversation, you're fucking stupid. But what we're telling you is, I just literally told you the parameters. Either A, you go to a fucking Ivy League or an elite school. B, you go to a school for free. Or C, you pick up a trade because college is not going to fucking serve you. Did you not fucking hear that earlier? I hate stupid niggas. I literally told y'all guys earlier what the parameters are. If you go to an Ivy League and you major some bullshit, it doesn't matter. They have a network where you're going to probably get a fucking job, okay? Yeah. But or an elite school. But if you go to like a regular school, let's say you go to fucking UConn, right? But you major some bullshit, you're not going to get a job, bro. Like, you're not. And I'm being real with y'all on that. Like, you got to go to an elite fucking school to major some bullshit and still get a job after. So if you're going to go to, like, a mid-tier school and major some bullshit, don't go to college. I literally said that earlier, you fucking retards. Pay attention to what the fuck I'm saying. This is why a lot of you niggas are poor, stupid, and fat. You don't pay fucking attention, you fucking dumbasses. Holy shit, man. Niggas have no comprehension skills, and I got to yell at you dumb fucks because some of you niggas are retarded in the chat. Pay attention. That's why you're fucking retarded.
Yeah. And it's quite obvious.
I gave you idiots the caveat. Ooh, this psychology is bad. You dumb fuck. We just explained that to you earlier. Pay attention. Rewind the video, stupid.
Yeah, dude, people are stupid. But what we're saying, though, is if you don't know what you want to do, then, yeah, you could take that. You could take a little bit of a time, maybe a gap year to figure it out. But I used to be of the opinion that, like, college is just a scam and it's completely senseless. But more and more as I've aged and I become more mature, I've realized, bro, college is actually pretty fucking necessary. And it's one of the best things this country has going for itself, which is why people flood to come here. Our institutions are just high level. If you go to a high level institution, man, you're guaranteed to be a high earner and have a successful life. It's just what the numbers show.
There's three funnels, bro. There's three funnels. You either A, go to an elite school, okay? Then what you major in, whatever, you'll find a job. Or B, you major you go to a mid-tier school, but you major something that's necessary, engineering, whatever, right? You go to UConn, you major in engineering, you major in fucking nursing or some shit, fine, all good. We know you're gonna get a job when you graduate. But the worst thing you could do, which is what a lot of you dumb motherfuckers do, is you go to college and you major in fucking feminist studies or liberal arts or some other retarded shit. Yeah, you're not gonna get a fucking job doing that, and you're fucking stupid. So in that case, it's better off to go ahead and get like a fucking blue collar job or whatever. Again, guys, college nowadays, you have to be intelligent about it. You have to figure out what you're gonna do, unless you get an elite school. If you get an elite school, then you're gonna be golden. Like an Ivy League or something like that, you're more than likely gonna find a job. But since I know most people are not gonna do that, those are the other options. Or let's say you're like, you know what? I don't know where I stand right now. Go to a community college or go to like a mid-tier school. Go for a year, whatever, and then you could transfer to a better school, and that's another way to get into a better school without necessarily having to spend as much money and or work as hard in high school. Like, so if you fuck up in high school, it's not over. You can go to a fucking lower tier school. Obviously, it's gonna be cheaper. It's not gonna be as expensive, and then you can like transfer your way in. So these are the different ways that you can go. We're giving you guys options, but yes, do you need college? It's not required. But depending on what you want to do, that's what dictates your path. Like, what I will say is this. Do not go to college like, oh, I'm just going to go undeclared. No, those days are done. I remember, when I went to college, that was like the norm. Like, oh, yeah, you just don't declare your first 2 years and go. And you can't afford to do that shit.
Yeah, that is not affordable.
College is too expensive. Yeah. Can't do that shit. Like, my day, you could have done that. Y'all can't do that no more. So you guys have to be a lot more specific and, like, go in with intent. But if you go to, like I said before, go to a good school, you get into the Ivies, then there's exceptions, of course.
100%. 100%. That's golden advice. Yo, if you're under the age of 18, 17, and you're hearing this, bro, there's no reason why you should be confused at the end of your high school career. So, because life just comes at you fast, man, and people make the wrong decisions. But yeah, the biggest thing to understand and take away, these Ivy League schools, man, there's so much more, and it's like a little niche secret. People don't quite grasp how powerful they are and the connections you can make and the money you can make from going there, despite what you major, even if it's something senseless. But man, it's one of the biggest things and the best things this country offers.
Let's say you're a Harvard grad, you got like a fucking, you know, you graduate like a fucking...
Bro, J.D. Vance went to Yale Law, didn't he? J.D. Vance, Marco, all these guys went to Yale Law School.
Yeah, he was Skull and Bones and all that, man. Like, you know, you go to Harvard, you go to these schools, bro. Like, it doesn't really matter, like, what you graduate with. Like, you just get the fucking degree, and they're gonna get you the job. Like, that's just how it is, man. So, like, you know, again, but this is only for elite schools. Like, a lot of you guys aren't going to get into these schools. So the next step is you go to a mid-tier school, but you major in something that's going to get you a job. Because if you're not going to be in an elite school, then you have to major in something that's going to get you a job, right? Like I said before, for all you idiots out there, do not go to fucking college undeclared or go to college and like major in some bullshit like feminist studies. That's when you throw money out the window. The only time that I can justify you doing that is if you get a free ride. If you get a free ride, that's different. Then all bets are off, whatever, and again, enjoy it. But like, if you're not getting a free ride and you're majoring in some bullshit at a mid-tier school, that is the worst place you can be, bro. Worst place you could be.
100%. Completely agree. This is free advice, by the way. We should be charging for this shit.
Yeah, we should be charging. And like the whole glitch I told you about transferring schools, that is some shit that nobody ever talks about. It's the best kept secret to like get your way into like a good school is like going to like a mid-tier school. If like college is like your only thing and that's what you want to do, whatever, like it, you know, it is what it is, then the best way, dude, even out of high school, this is how you circumvent SATs, this is how you circumvent fucking you know, all the other exams and writing papers and all this other dumb shit that you got to do when you're fresh out of high school and have all these like extracurriculars. They don't give a fuck about none of that bullshit when you're a transfer. So it's way fucking easier. So it's a way to, it's a kind of a glitch to kind of, you know, get yourself in there, but you got to get like close to, you got to get like a damn near like a 3.8 plus, right? So that you can really like be an attractive candidate to transfer. So that's another glitch around it. So man, I've never told that one before. So you guys just got exclusive on my brother's show. I've never talked about the transfer glitch ever, so that's the first.
Yeah, that's a really, really good method. Something a lot of people overlook. They think it's just high school and that's it. Yeah, obviously you want to try and repair the issue before you have to finish high school and go to a school for a year, but you can save money doing it. But the best thing is perform well in high school. That way you can start, but even then you still have a chance because you went to CCSU, like you said, for a year, and then that saved you a shit ton of money. Because the thing about an Ivy League school, listen, it is going to be expensive likely. They're going to give you some money, but you're not going to be top 1%, right? So unless you're in some very special position, I know there's grants and scholarships and stuff that you can apply for, but likely you're going to pay out-of-state tuition and it's going to be steep. So, you know, you want to try and, if you want to take that gap year, or you want to do a year in a state school local to you, get really good grades, that's a really good way to circumvent some of that debt as well,
Yeah.
So.
But the transfer glitch, it's, yeah, man, you guys can feel free to use that one, dude. Like, yeah, I think that's the first time I ever told that trick. But you got to work hard, man. You got to get as close as possible to a 4, and it could be done, dude. It could be done. I took like some like regular prereq classes or whatever, and I was able to get that GPA up. And then they don't ask. All they really care about a lot of times is your GPA, maybe your, you know, last semester of high school, whatever. But all the extracurricular, they don't screen. When you're a transfer, they don't screen your They don't screen your, your application is bad. And then also, the reason why no one talks about transferring is because people hate losing credits. They get mad as hell. But I think if the school is good enough, it's 100% worth it. Like you're just going to have to deal with that you're going to probably lose a few credits here and there. But your credits they'll mostly get accepted.
Yep.
They'll mostly get accepted.
100%.
But anyway, bro, I don't want to derail your show. I just figured
No, you're good. You're good. That's huge, man. That's huge.
Yeah. But that shit just like, because like, not only did she lie multiple times, but like, bro, she lied about like shit that like, bitch, you think I'm retarded? Like, dude, no one turns down an offer from Cornell to go to UVM. Like, that's my first like, like this bitch is lying. You know what I mean?
Clock the lie right away. And she had to she had to cover for lost ground because she looked stupid, so she had to make up some lies.
But the thing is, I could tell like she's around idiots all day. So like she
gets away with that shit.
She gets away with that shit, bro, all the time. That's why I knew. I was like, yo, she talks to idiots all day on social media. Like, she's in the social media echo chamber where everyone's a dumbass and like, you know, let's be honest, most of these social media niggas like didn't really go to like, you know, prestigious schools because if they did, they probably wouldn't be on social media. So it's like, it is what it is. But yeah, I could tell just from her saying that, I was like, yeah, this chick thinks I'm a retard and like I didn't go to school or some shit like that. And it's like, bro, I'm from New England. Like, this is We know all the IVs. This is what we do. Like, this is our fucking neck of the woods. You're fucking lying. UVM is a retarded fucking school. We used to literally make fun of those niggas all the time. It's nothing but alcoholics and degenerates up there because there's nothing to do in Vermont, dude. So this bitch is lying.
Yeah.
So
I called her out.
you know, I remember UVM kids would come to Boston because it was so boring up there. Like, dude, you know how many UVM girls would come down to fucking Northeastern like, oh, it's so fun out here. You guys have like buildings. I'm like, what the fuck?
Ain't shit. There ain't shit in Vermont, bro.
Nothing.
Ain't shit in Vermont except cabins and a little getaway for the weekend or some nigga's summer house. Like,
bro, there's nothing up there, man.
No opportunity there. Yeah, 100%.
So, but anyway, yeah, no, man. Yo, I'll let you get back to it, man. I didn't mean to yacht too long.
No, you're good. You're good, man.
These guys, these value. So that's an exclusive only on your stream. I never shared that one before. So
appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it. That's really good.
All right,
that's really good. All right, bro.
Guys.
Peace.
Peace.
All right. Let's see. I had some chats come in. Really good. You're not getting that anywhere. So we got to make that a video, send it out to the younger guys. Let's see. I got some chats in here, though, so we'll read these very quickly. And we'll finish this video because it wasn't done, but I guess Fresh was exposing her. But let's see what you guys said. Andrew says, was there a 23andMe Ashkenazi percentage? I don't know. Did she talk about her DNA test? Who are you referring to? I may not remember what you're talking about. I got my 23andMe. No Ashkenazi in there, obviously. Tech says, can you react to the documentary trailer? Which one? Which one? This documentary trailer? If you put a link in the super chat, it doesn't carry over. It doesn't work for some reason. So sorry, I can't see it. David said, have you ever considered getting a fully remote job? My job is hybrid. So it's half remote. Fully remote is good. Here's the thing about a fully remote job, I'll say. A fully remote job is cool, but you will lose your mind, I feel. You're going to want some sort of social interaction. You're going to want to be around people at least once a week, I'd say. And look, going into the office, like everybody loves to work from home. Let's not act like we don't know that, but you're going to want some sort of human interaction. You know, if you work from home every day, some people it's for them. Some people enjoy it. For me, would I prefer it? Yeah, but I think I would kind of. I'm a person who has to talk. This is why I like to do this as well. Like, this is why I'm kind of decent at it, not being cocky, but this is why, like, I can do this and I like to do it. And hopefully you guys enjoy listening, is because I have to, like, express myself. I have to talk. I have to yap. I have to be heard. I have to push my thoughts, my worldview, my opinions. So, you know, when you don't work in person, you really have no chance to do that and make friends. You know, you'll build good relationships at work, and maybe you'll become friends with somebody who will get a job somewhere else that's better and then bring you along. And, you know, you can't build those relationships on the computer. At least for the most part, you usually can. Let's see. Tell Myron I said go to sleep. We got an important show today. Thanks, Mr. Drippy. Appreciate it. Legend says that chick has a master's in capology. Yeah, she's lying her ass off. Angel says, girls like her just stop watching FNF. Because of girls like her, I'm assuming you said. Girls be lying, annoying, and so stupid that I just crash out. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Tech says, I paste the link in the chat, but the title is The Sick Mind of EDP 445. Oh, yeah, isn't that the guy that got caught, like, with CP, wasn't it? I remember that story was really big a while back. But anyways, let's finish this clip up here. I'll start from here so we can remember where we were.
I've made a few videos about Clout since he's been in the media. Mostly criticizing him, not hating on him.
About what?
We've talked about this. I thought that in particular, some of the things that were going.
The girl with Clav is who you meant for the Ashkenazi. I don't know if she's Jewish. I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's released a DNA test. I have no idea.
On his stream, including stuff that happened yesterday, was
on the yacht.
On the yacht.
Oh
yeah.
shit! Wait, what happened yesterday on the yacht?
I made a critique that, like,
hey, just so you know,
cool.
what happens on the yacht stays on the yacht.
What happened?
Okay, continue. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I just made a critique that, like, a lot of the kind of both ends, but a lot of the girls getting into that, they might just be like 18-year-old girls who are going out to the bar and picking up with a guy, and like maybe they're not really thinking about the fact that they're being live streamed, and that could come back to haunt them.
I mean, this always a new stream every day, though. I don't think that's gonna be that crazy.
Yeah. No, I guess it's Miami. I'm not used to being in Miami, but well,
So your criticism was like of the girls that are on his stream not understanding the consequences for later.
Yeah, pretty much. I just said the girls who are
Dude, does she realize how ridiculous that sounds? No way in hell she has 132 IQ. And if she really does and she can provide evidence and establish that's true, then IQ means nothing, I guess. Like, what do you mean these young girls don't know what they're getting themselves into? And I spazzed about this earlier. So, by the way, Albo Ace, thank you so much for the huge super chat. Appreciate that, my friend. Thank you for the 100. Whoa! Did you send 200? Or is that a duplicate? Thank you for the huge super chat. I can't tell if that's a duplicate or not. I see 2 on here, but I think it's just 1 you sent. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's 1. Okay. Shout out to Riyadh. Us Albanians got your back. I'm hitting 40K this month, and I didn't go to college. Business owner. If I were to go back, I'd probably go to war, but you can still make a ton of money without school as long as you aren't a lazy motherfucker and grind it out. 100%. And I love this. See? High earner. What's a better combination? My Albanian nigga making good money. Shout out to you, my friend. Appreciate that. I got a couple Albanian friends. Hold them near and dear. They're very, very good people. I always have great words for the Albanians. So shout out to you, bro. God bless you. I hope your business makes even more than 40K in the coming future, inshallah, God willing. Good for you, man. And it's true. Look, school is not necessary to succeed, but it certainly can help. It amplifies maybe the rate or the speed in which it will happen. And look, you can be like Albo Ace and not go to school and figure it out on your own. How many people are competent enough to do that? Not a lot. And there's people that can do so well in high school and then go to an Ivy League and get a great job because of how smart they are. But those same people, if you threw them in the water, if you threw them to the sharks, they couldn't swim. Meaning if they didn't go to college and were forced to figure it out, that same smart person who would have performed and met the right people at an Ivy League maybe is not the same person who can figure it out on their own and get it out of the mud. I think there's different skills there. I think it's 2 different things. You know, so that competence, that drive, that willingness to want to make it happen, you know, that's separate from being intelligent or, you know, able to meet the right people at these Princetons and Yales and Harvards. So good for you, man. I love to see a chat like that. I had somebody else tell me that they quit weed because of something I was saying, and they have a 6-figure business. So like those kinds of chats make my day, make my night. So Albo Ace, thank you so much to you, and we wish you the best in your business endeavors. Let's see, and you're completely right. You're completely right. Martin says, keep up the good work. Started following your brother 5 years ago. Always appreciate when you and your bro calls out our own side. It really shows legit research and analysis that we take serious. Thank you so much, my friend. Appreciate that. Yeah, man, look, I'm always very quick to call out men. OnlyFans wouldn't be shit without men who are simps. Women wouldn't be so pompous and pretentious if it wasn't for men spiking their ego every day, liking every single photo they see on Instagram and following models that don't know they exist, right? It's men that are sometimes the driver. Sometimes they're the means to the unfortunate end we're seeing with women and how they turn out. So we're always the ones to speak about that and relay that issue to the public and the masses. But thank you so much for
It's
that.
a bit loaded. The girls who are going on Clav streams and hooking up with him.
Wait, you're a Clav?
But you were on.
I'm not hooking up. I'm not. I'm not
Doesn't matter.
Oh, guys, don't worry. She's not hooking up. She's not hooking up with him. She's just twerking on the boat. It's way better. Don't worry, she's not hooking up. And what's she gonna say? Oh, I did a little joking twerk for 2 seconds. All right, tell that to your future husband or boyfriend. See how that turns out.
Now you go.
I didn't get invited.
So earlier you said that you're a feminist, but more in the traditional sense of the term. Right? Like you believe more in the like egalitarian side of like men and women are equal.
Yeah, exactly.
So wouldn't it be fair to say that if they're on his stream, they are adults and they know what they're doing?
I didn't say on his stream specifically. I said hooking up with him on stream, having sex with him on stream.
And that's my point. I'm saying like,
who's having sex with Clav on stream? Clav doesn't do porn. What is she talking about?
No,
but based on feminism,
sex,
like women are supposed to be considered equal, which means they have autonomy and you know the ability and freedom to do what they want.
So that's where I think things differ, and that's where I
see. That's where
fight
the
with
Taliban
myself.
Right. That's what you said. Afghanistan. I was like, hey man, the Taliban might have been onto something, right? Because in Afghanistan, they wouldn't be on no dance having sex on stream.
I mean, I don't think it should be illegal. I think people can do what they want, but I do think that there are gender differences that affect how sexual
Oh, now they can do what they want.
dynamics are.
Well, then that goes against feminism. If there's differences, that means they're not really equal.
It's more about less about equality and more about equity, I think, and acknowledging that men and women are different. Like men and women are. There's no like you're not saying like biologically men and women are the same. They're not the same.
Yeah, and I think
what is the point you're trying to make?
And this is the problem that feminism deals with is like answering this
Emotions.
question right here, because it's like, and this is why I'm so against feminism, because on one end they're able to say we're equal to men and we want to be able to have the freedom and everything else like that, but then when it comes to like the accountability part, what you're describing is like, oh well, they shouldn't be doing this, blah blah blah. It's like, no, but they made that decision. So it's like, that's the problem, is that women want to be able to have all this freedom and do what they want without dealing with the
She low-key made that point by saying equity.
consequences of the freedom.
Well, yeah, that's part of why I made that video. Like, I do agree with you, and I like do agree that.
Like she defeated herself.
But that's counteractive to like.
I know.
feminism.
That's why I'm like, okay, like I think, like, look, yeah, maybe I am a little bit misogynistic.
All right. Well, I guess we got her to concede there.
I feel like she's overprotective.
Come on, with a good side.
No, maybe.
This is the problem with feminism. It's like, it's like, you know, they're able to double dip and be like, oh, well, we're equal. We want to do what we want. Then it's like, oh, well, I don't know if doing this is right because it might hurt me down the road. But it's like, you know, men got to deal with that all the time.
It's not going to hurt nobody. It's going to be fine. It's not going to hurt nobody.
Yeah, I think in today's day and age too, it really doesn't matter too much. You know, girls could run around doing all this shit, and like they're still gonna, you know, have no issues in the dating market.
They always have like a get out of jail free card. You know what I mean? For their behaviors. They like.
And sometimes you just don't care.
They come in and be like, I was manipulated, or no, I didn't like.
Exactly.
You know, they can always like.
Most
use
people don't care.
I was lit.
No, so
I was lit.
But my whole thing is like, I've never really had an experience where like someone that was hating on me, it wasn't just like they didn't understand what I'm about, or they just have only seen out of context things. So I'm always like, you know, kill them with kindness type situation. I'm always fine with going on like podcasts I know are going to be a hit piece, or doing news media interviews that I know are probably going to be negative, because I'm like, you know, at least give me a chance to explain myself. So that's why I was like, you know, let's do a collab and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, collab. That's one way beneficial, by the way. And that's to her, not him. But we know why he's kicking it with her. Just my guess, because she doesn't seem to have some crazy following from what I'm seeing here. I mean, what does she have on Instagram? Yeah, 41K followers. So there's nothing significant in the face of Clav's fame, right? But it's what these girls do, man. They just jump for the attention. They jump for the clout. Jump back on all their morals. And so this is what I tweeted. I forgot to even show this earlier, but I said, LMFAO, saw her on my For You page every other day shitting on Clav months back. Hypergamy is not an opinion. It is a reality. Look at her dancing and gesturing for the camera. Not so cool or too good now, huh? And then I just said joke. But yeah, so I mean, that's that. People say the red pill is dead, bro. The red pill is reality, bro. It is not dead. Okay. So that's that. I wanted to do the Hunter Biden interview, but I've got to be up at 6 to work in person. I'm already cooked, Chad. I know. It's just so cooked. It's so cooked out here. What are you going to do, though? It's worth it. It's worth it. I love streaming, so I don't mind staying up for it from time to time. I'll wreck to sleep once or twice in the week. By the way, I went to go see, you know, maybe this is boring for some of you guys, really quick, and I'm not paid at all. If you haven't seen The Odyssey, and I'm not a movie watcher, I am not a movie watcher by any means. I've watched all of the Christopher Nolan movies, obviously, because those are like big movies, or at least most of them. But I'm not a crazy movie guy, not like a cinema junkie. Go watch The Odyssey. Great movie. And I'm like seeing on my timeline, hold on, we got to get into this. So if you didn't watch The Odyssey, it was, I think it's a movie based off of this book by Homer from thousands of years ago about like Greek mythology and this whole like story about this king and the hero's journey and everything like that. I'm sure many of you saw it. Really, really good movie. Trust me, if you were on the fence, go watch it. I was kind of pushed away from it because of the fact that it's 3 hours long. I saw that, but it was really good. Bro, great movie. Great movie. I don't want to give spoilers because I'm assuming maybe many of you haven't seen it. But it's like Matt Walsh said something about it. Okay, so obviously not everybody in the movie is white. Okay, and this movie takes place in like ancient Greece and Troy and stuff, whatever. And it's like, gang, it's 2029. Why is everybody expecting everybody in these movies to be just white? Obviously, there's going to be a couple token monkeys, okay? Like, that's just the way media is now. Why is anybody ever surprised about that? Yeah, would it have made more sense if there were a couple or there weren't any blacks or Indians in the movie? Of course it would have. Of course that would have been better. objectively because that would have been more accurate. I don't know if you can even say historically accurate because there's nothing even historically accurate about the story. The Odyssey is like, for the large part, I think not even a legitimate thing. It's like Greek mythology, but really good movie. I can't find the message by Matt Walsh, but all these right-wingers like these tradcons on X are complaining about it, saying, oh, it shouldn't be a black person. I'm not watching it. Worst movie ever. Overrated. Gang, great movie. So I tweeted this. I was hoping this would like bang. I was hoping this would go viral. Just to rage bait. I said, anyone saying the Odyssey was bad is LARPing. Great movie. Amazing movie. So let's see what you guys are saying in here. Troy was badass movie. Travis Scott. Yeah, Travis Scott in the beginning was a little crazy. Take. No, it was a good movie, bro. It was a good movie. A lot of lessons to be extracted. You know, it was philosophical. So we'll see. Riyadh time travel to 2029. Like, bro, it's 2055 and people are complaining about a black person in a movie. What do you think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to be? So, really, really, if you guys didn't watch it, go. Said I'm talking crazy. No, it was a great movie. Yeah, the Greeks are mad. Greeks are always mad about something. Greeks, that's why we love Albanians, okay? Because Greeks are always bitching about something. I'm joking if you're Greek. We love Greeks. It's a joke. It's a joke. But, yeah. I thought it was a really good movie. But anyways, so that's that. Really nothing else to get into. Like I said, we'll react to that interview tomorrow. And hopefully it's good. It'll be fun. But that's really all I have. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. A little bit of a shorter stream, like I said. How long was this? Oh, it was a 3-hour stream. My God, I've been on for a while. I didn't even realize how the time passed. So, longer stream than usual. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel. I know there's a lot of newer people in here who don't always watch, so I appreciate all the support. Check me out on X. That's Riyadh's Report, okay? Instagram as well. You can check me out. My Instagram is just my name. So you can check out the clips page. That's Riyadh Pilled. And then the personal Instagram is Riyadh F. I've said I was going to do content on here, and I just haven't. I just haven't. I've kept it personal. I've left all the content on this page. This is the clips page. So let's get to 3K followers. That'd be great. Almost catching up to the personal page. So shout out to all you guys for all the support and the love. And we'll continue to grind it out. Continue to grind it out, balance this in the job. I think I've been doing a decent job of it so far. So let's keep it going, God willing. But love all of you guys. Had a great night here on stream. I don't think I have any chats to catch up on. And yeah, that's it. Someone said you're lame as fuck. Okay, what did I do? The fuck? All right, love you guys. Have a great night.